podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal-on-the-go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Soul, aka
yeah, it's fixed. Webcam for 3 people was muted because last time I ended
Go
the
again,
show.
Nick, from the start.
Yeah, let's go. Remember what happened last week? I jumped to the stream over, and then all of a sudden, like, people could still hear us again. I hate OBS. This is why I will always hate it. Because
PC stuff.
It just throws audio feeds into the wrong scenes that it's not a part of sometimes.
Okay, so I guess we're starting again. So what's going on, everyone? As you can see, I'm the host today. This is episode 154 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm your host, Special Nick, because somehow John has hurt his back. So please welcome my co-host, Soulblazerz, aka Ursel. Soul, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I feel like I might have cursed John or something, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and we also have Jesse, aka Don Cabeza, behind the scenes producing the show. Jesse, how are you?
I'm pissed, and I hate OBS. I really hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it, and I want to get anything else. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so yeah, I woke up this morning at 6:30 in the morning. Daylight savings has ended here, so we technically gained an hour of sleep. So I woke up at 6:30, which is what would have normally been 7:30, and I thought I'll check my phone. And I only saw on Twitter that John has hurt his back. So for anyone following on Twitter, John apparently can't move, which is why I am your host for the day. So I was frantically trying to find a co-host all morning at 6:30 in the morning. So thank you very much, Soul, for joining.
No problem. I'm gonna pretend I was the first person you messaged, so that'll.
No one knows who the first person I messaged was. I just got a DM now from someone saying, "Oops, I just saw this message now. Is it too late?" I will not say from who, but someone just sent me a message now going, "Is it too late?"
Yeah, you guys can blame me for not having Phil on again, guys.
No, that's okay. So, yes, for those of you who keep up with XboxEra content, Soul is one of our hosts of the You Had Me at Halo podcast. And the boys, you guys do You Had Me at Halo on your Thursday?
Yep.
Right?
We go every other Thursday, but we're kind of like, if there's no news, we're going to go maybe once a month or so. We'll be next week. Next Thursday, we'll be on. If you want to talk Halo.
If you want to talk Halo, yes. Okay, so check that out every Thursday, almost Thursdays. If that's the case. So we'll start. I think this is going to be the one, Jesse. I think this is actually going to be.
Just don't say what you think it's going to be.
And that he's already said it to me in a DM. It's not going to happen now.
That elusive unicorn short episode.
No.
We have yearned for all these years that doesn't run all day. And the reason being, I just don't think there's that much to talk about. But anyway, have you been playing any games lately? New ones? I mean, old ones too, but new ones.
Yeah. I bought the Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells.
Mm-hmm.
That game is brutally difficult. Like, it is. I've only beaten the game twice, and it's a roguelike, and I'm just constantly dying and struggling to make it through on the next one. I don't know how people keep playing it, like get 5 runs or whatnot. It's harder than Hades. It's harder than friggin' Sekiro. It's a brutally difficult game. Like,
Yeah.
Other than that, I started Sifu.
The thing
yesterday.
with Castlevania, or not even the Castlevania, but with Dead Cells, is you will find builds that break things, and
okay.
once you get, especially there's a whole meta leveling up system. So once you get through, you see that guy that you can give the cells and like 2,000 cells. You start getting him a ridiculous amount of cells, and there are ways to get 2,000 cells in a run.
In a run?
That, yeah, there are ways to break everything in this game, and as you learn them, you power up so much. But if you don't ever learn how to do that, it's brutally difficult the whole time.
Dude, I just use my freeze and hammer, man. That's my go-to.
There's
Gets the job
like
done.
200 weapons and stuff in that game. There's so many combos you can get, and ways eventually you can sort of choose what you want more often. Yeah,
it's a phenomenal game.
A
like,
lot
it's so well
to
put.
it.
My only complaint with it per se is like you fight the bosses so infrequently that like it's harder to learn their moves. So you got to really play a lot safer. You can't like rush.
When you
like
play enough, you open up. Once you've beaten a boss, you open up boss rush, and then you can fight them a lot.
Huh? I didn't think to do that. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Other than that, I started Sifu just like the first 30 minutes, but that like intro credit sequence, that was nice. That was
so good. I had to put that in my review, like just the sequence from that whole tutorial intro sequence. It was so good.
One thing I'll say is I know Sifu's not a Sony game, but like Sony games in general, their credit sequences are top notch. I'm not sure if you played Ghost of Tsushima, but that credit sequence will stay burned in my mind. Those who played it know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's basically it. Monster Hunter, I've been playing that on off the last like 2 months. Great game. One of the best Game Pass gets, I want to say, in a while that no one's talking about. Still playing Wo Long, haven't beaten it. It's pretty good. Bought Steel Rising on sale because Jesse's review. Played that for like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm juggling like 10 games. It's
yeah. As always. That's how it always is.
Yep.
Jesse, what have you been playing? Just everything that you've been reviewing?
Yeah, I did 5 reviews this week. So,
crap.
Hey, I did a review too.
I know. Yeah. I didn't mean to. They literally all had the exact same embargo date. So Infinite Guitars was the newest one. That's on Game Pass. That game should be fantastic, but it's not because it just doesn't get the what is a good flow to a game part of a game down. Like it has so many good things about it, but then you fight the same mob 100 times. And it's never short because they always level with you. So even if you power and level up and you do all these things, it's still long. So it's an RPG, turn-based RPG, but the turn-based is either timing or rhythm-based mini games, which are very fun. But the game is too long. The game needs to be shorter, and the map needs to tell you where to go, and it doesn't. So I spent like a third of my time just trying to figure out where to go and what to do. If you can get a walkthrough guide, I think the game is worth it. I know I didn't give it a great score. I gave it like a 5.5. But for us, that's okay. And I think the game could have been great. It looks really nice. The music is killer. I was playing a song from it. Oh, no, actually, I was playing a different song. The music is great, though, which is really important because it's a rhythm-based game.
Yeah.
And you're doing all your rock band style stuff. So that one, really hit or miss. I think if you can get a walkthrough guide for it over time, it's on Game Pass. Well worth a try.
Some of the worst Shadow drop into Game Pass?
No, it was announced for Game Pass last September or something, and then got a massive delay. And then it got re-announced, but not nearly as much.
It wasn't in the blog post though. For
it was just Infinite Guitars and MLB The Show. That was
you're
the
right.
blog
Actually,
post.
You're right. Yeah. Huh.
The other ones I did, Saga of Sins looks really nice in still images, and that's the only nice thing I can say about it. Other than that, it's just real mediocre. I think my favorite surprise was Lunark, which Moro asked me 12 hours before the game was releasing. He asked me in the XboxEra Discord, "Hey, is anyone reviewing that?" And I said, "I've never even heard of it." So I messaged the publisher, and 20 minutes after, I had the game, and I spent all night reviewing it. And at 3:00, I finished it. And yeah, that game's it's Flashback or Prince of Persia. It's
it looks like Flashback. It looks a lot like Flashback.
But if they controlled well, like they figured out a way to have that style, but it's still, as long as you are deliberate with your movements, it controls well. I don't feel cheated like I did with those games where it was too heavy in the animations and you're bouncing and you're waiting.
Yeah, because those games, Flashback and Prince of Persia, they feel like they're designed on a grid. kind of like Tomb Raider. Remember the first Tomb Raider, how there's that grid to it? Prince of Persia and Flashback feel the same way.
Like the
That's
original
why you
Prince
have-
of Persia?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you have steps. So you can run, but then you can take one incremental step, which made me think it was always on a grid.
Wait,
Or
that game
on a-
is playable? Because my memories of that game is just missing every jump.
Depends on
Ever.
what
Yeah.
you played on. If you had decent hardware, it was almost playable. But for the most part, that's what I'm talking about with these is those did not play well in the long run.
Yeah.
They just didn't. Like Another World, which I think was called Out of This World in North America,
Yes. Yes.
didn't play well.
Reminds
But
me of
this game is
Pitfall. That didn't play well
aping-
either.
But
Yeah.
those games are my childhood. That was
How'd you
before
make
I
it
was
through
a
the
con-
first jump is what I want.
That was before I was a console gamer. Like I used to play on PC and I played Prince of Persia and Another World and Flashback and just all the oh my god. But yes, though you can't play those games now. They're just
There's a sequel, eh? for
I
Flashback
wouldn't
coming
even
out?
want to play them now. They would have aged horrifically in the way they play.
I think I played
Um,
them on my Xbox original because someone, back you could like mod the crap out of that thing. Someone
Yeah,
put
yeah,
like
yeah.
400 random games from who knows how long back. I'm like, oh, let me give this a shot. And it's just, what is going on?
Yeah, it's full on.
Yeah. So there was,
Um,
and this one also has great
uh,
music. It's actually what I pulled today's going live song
okay.
from was that train sequence in this game. And the last thing that I can talk about, because I am also doing a review of Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened, the remake of that. Can't say anything about it other than I'm doing it. The last thing that I did, and I streamed about an hour of it, I think, was Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure, which is super good.
yeah.
It is more Forza Horizon 5, but it looks better, feels as good, and is more easily set up to advance in than ever. Like
I've heard
you know what you're
multiple-
doing, you know where you're going. So yeah, it's if you wanted more Forza Horizon 5, this is a great version of that.
I've heard multiple people mention that the visuals, like they mentioned, it just looks significantly better than the base
Yeah,
game.
their
Really?
new, especially their new soft surface stuff is really noticeable. Like the going through sand or snow or dirt or anything, you really feel it. But also it does look cleaner to me than I remember in performance mode. I didn't touch resolution mode because I'm not an idiot.
No.
But
You
I
open the
ran it
menu
on-
once, and no one should ever play that mode. Like, are you
I ran
kidding?
it on PC afterwards too, and my God, does it look and run? I was doing like 140 frames per second, nearly maxed out. They are tech wizards.
Why didn't they
and,
just spin it off into its own little rally game?
I don't know.
You wonder
'cause
if,
they
like,
had everything set up.
These guys just have like not too many people working on Horizon 5 these days. I feel like it's
Yeah.
gotta be a small team, right?
I find that odd.
Probably,
I'm
I would
like,
imagine.
I feel
Yeah,
no, I feel like there's an opportunity there to just sell this dedicated Forza Horizon rally game and have it be this cool, smaller, cheaper thing that would still do really well. But maybe that's just me.
yeah. No, I think it could. I do wonder if they end up going with some spin-offs eventually instead of focusing so much just on Horizon. But Horizon is so popular that I understand why they keep doing it. And I really did this. It's not as funny, but it has the long, easy, medium, left like stuff.
Yeah,
from
that's
Sega
right.
Rally Championship.
Yes,
So they'll be
that's
like,
right.
"Oh, this is gonna be a hard right, or
But
easy
there's a map.
left."
There's
Yeah.
a map.
But you
still on the
know-
screen.
You know how you said it's from Sega Rally? You know that's how it actually works in real rallies,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
You've got a
Yeah.
co-driver that's
Mhm.
telling you there's a long, easy left coming up.
Well,
Hard.
it's
You
Forza
have to be
Horizon.
insane to get in
Instead
a
of
car
a-
and rally drive in real life.
Instead
Oh
of
my
a,
100%.
instead of a person in the car with you, it's Forza Horizon, so they're in the helicopter above you, as you can always see.
Oh,
Which was a
right,
little
yeah, yeah.
annoying because sometimes the helicopter kept kicking up dust directly in front of me and made it hard to see
yeah.
where to
I
go.
see
But if you
Like,
turn off the
man.
driving line, I found it way more immersive and entertaining for this type of racing.
Oh man,
That's
no
why
one should
I
have
did
the
not have to-
driving line
yeah.
on, anyways.
I mean, people that are just looking to have fun, I get it.
Like brake line,
like
I
them a
get
lot.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. But I
don't
recently
know.
in Forza
I
Horizon.
I consider myself a good driver, but even I would not attempt rally driving, man.
No
that-
way. No, that's suicidal, dude. Are you kidding? And the people
Jesus.
watching that are right next to the cars, and the cars
They
go like
get
flying
hit.
right above
There are
them.
people have been hit.
Yeah.
It's
It's
crazy
European, right? It's next level. That's all I'll say.
It's just crazy stuff. So as everyone knows, I don't play new games. So I after reviewing Sifu and playing, I think I'm only up to chapter 10 in Resident Evil 4. I've got to go back to Resident
How
Evil
many
4. I've been
chapters are
playing
there?
so much. I have
Or
no
12
idea.
or 15.
Okay.
I think I'm up to 9 or 10. Very good game. But because I was playing so much Sifu and doing arenas and trying to record footage, I wasn't playing much all week. So when I finally stopped, I've gone back to Rocket League and Fortnite. Man,
So-
the newest season of Fortnite. I got Leon in Fortnite. I caved and bought him.
Wait, newest one is the one with the with Aaron, right? With the Attack on Titan characters, or is there even another newer season since then? Actually, you probably wouldn't get
I don't
that.
know Attack on
Okay,
Titan. I don't know what Attack on Titan is. I just know that Leon was there, so I bought him. And this new season, it's funny. Like I was playing with a friend of mine yesterday, Sayed, and we both said the same thing. We don't like this latest battle pass, aside from the Salamander, who's amazing. But the actual season itself and what they've done to the island and the new gameplay mechanics and everything like that, and the new weapons, it's one of the best seasons ever in terms of the actual game itself. But this battle pass kind of sucks.
What do you
at
play? Do you
least
play no build
in my opinion.
mode? Do you play like TDM?
I
like-
play zero build. Yeah, I play zero build. I would never touch.
but still battle royale,
building. Yes,
right?
I
Okay.
would never touch build mode ever again. As far as I'm concerned, that mode does not exist anymore.
What about when you play
Um,
Rocket League? Really quick, I've always wanted to ask you, like,
Yes.
what do you play? Do you just matchmake normal? Do you play ranked? Like,
Yeah,
do you
I just
grind
play
up?
ranked. I just play ranked 2s and 3s. That's all I play.
Okay.
Where my son will try out everything. Like my son plays casual. He still trains a lot. He's getting very, very good. For a 7-year-old child, he's very, very good at Rocket League. He plays like the ice hockey mode. He plays hoops, the basketball mode. He tries them all. Where I just stick to ranked. I don't know why. It infuriates me because I'm so competitive, but I just love it so much.
Geoff in the chat makes a great point. There are over 100 people. Okay, 99 people watching, and only around 30 likes. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
I don't
was
have
gonna
no
mention that.
weird
I
John
will
story.
mute
but
my mic.
put that like
Oops.
button on,
Yep.
or click the like
Hello.
button on. Hey, whoa!
I was
Let's
gonna
not.
mention it, but yes.
Yo, chat, really quick. Can we please not talk about Attack on Titan spoilers? Let's keep those out of here.
Yes. So that's as you can see, I don't play much. I mean, Jesse's showing Rocket League now. It's just like the funnest game. Like when they talk about desert island games, like I wouldn't even have to hesitate to say that Rocket League is my desert island game.
Do you watch it competitively at all?
Not
Rocket
really.
League?
Not really.
I know
Because
there's a
it
big
makes
scene.
me feel bad about myself because I'll probably never be that good. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at Rocket League. Like the last time Jesse played with me was quite a while ago, and even back then Jesse thought I was pretty good at Rocket League. I'm like 10 times better than I was back then. But I'm still not competitive good.
Yeah.
As in, like I look at all the aerials these guys do and stuff. I still can't do that. I could do pretty much everything
do
else
that.
except that. The aerial stuff, like see what he just did. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. No, this
I
game's
can't
not
do a
for
lot
me.
of
No
the
way.
aerial stuff.
It's
This is
really
too
not hard.
technical.
You just got to practice it for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, I know, and I don't bother practicing. I just play. I play a very grounded game of Rocket League. Very oh my god, like that stuff there. I just can't do it.
Yeah, no.
But yes. Anyway, so that's what we've been playing anyway. So if you liked what we were talking about just then, please hit that like button. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I got up very early this
We
morning.
do have a
which
super
also
chat.
means- We do. Banana Peel Check has sent us a $5 super chat saying Jesse is greater than John. Well, Jesse, unlike John, shows up. So that's by default anyway.
I was half
John.
dying of COVID and I showed up.
Well, yeah. I'm sore all over right now for some weird.
I had driven up the East Coast for 25 hours straight and still produced a podcast.
Yeah, that was a good episode too.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm feeling pretty
yes, so as you all know, I was up very early this morning, which means I didn't have breakfast, which is why this is my breakfast. No, really, it is. So make sure if you want some as well, don't worry. Gary Barwick's in the chat. He knows. Gary Barwick loves his control. So make sure you go to drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra and use our code to get yourself 10% off and get one of these because these are actually really good shakers.
Does that fill you up, by the way? Like they say a full box.
Yeah.
So they want you to
Full thing at a
use
time?
2 scoops, which is
Two
very
scoops.
filling. Yeah.
Okay.
It gets real
Okay.
thick.
And it's probably like what,
Yeah,
like 600
2
calories or something?
Oh, I don't think so. Not for 2 scoops.
Less?
Yeah.
Well, it depends
I
on
don't know. I'd
what
have to
milk
check.
you're using or if you're
Mm.
using water.
I use
or
milk.
whatever.
I use
Yeah.
lactose-free full cream milk for mine, and it makes it more filling. Water still tastes great. It
Yeah.
still tastes great with water, but I don't know. I prefer
400
milk.
for damn, that's pretty low. That's nice. I need to get myself this. And I'm not saying that as an ad. I actually
They got
I actually
banana
do.
split flavor. I want Nick, please get them to send me banana split. Please.
Everyone that I tell about this stuff, when they
Almond
actually
milk.
give it a try, when they actually try it, I hate almond milk. To me, it tastes like dirt. But yeah, every time I tell people to actually try this stuff, when they actually try it, they all end up loving it. Like I'm telling you now, this stuff is amazing. Anyway, I can see Rand's super chat and he can go and get effed. Randall
Are
thought
you
another
checking
week
your
and Nick,
Xbox profile?
yeah, he is. He's checking my Xbox profile. I have not touched GoldenEye in ages. But there's so many games. I haven't touched Dead Space in ages, and I still want to finish Dead Space.
Well,
Jesse,
you see the
cannot
Battlefield
let him
update?
put it in the best game of 2023 list. Well, why not? I've got the rest of 2023 to beat it, so why not?
You can put it
It's
in
not-
there, and then everyone points and laughs at how ridiculous the list is. It's fine. We get clicks.
Yeah,
It's our
whatever.
clickbait, essentially.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh man.
I will beat it. Just like I will beat Dead Space, and I will Sifu is the only game
Yo,
I have beaten this year, and that is because I had to review it. So that's the only reason I've beaten it.
how long
So
did it
I
take
was-
you to beat it, by the way? Like 6 hours?
God, it wasn't long. It wasn't
Mm.
very long, and that's what I love about it. I
Yeah.
love short
Yeah.
games. That's another reason I adore Sifu. I reckon it must have only been about without really full on tracking it, it must have been only like 6 or 7 hours.
Nice. That's good.
It wasn't very long, but it's super high replay value.
Mm.
Like between the collectibles, there's high scores, there's all the unlocks. You can just do better runs. Like the runs have ranks. So very, very high replay value, especially with arenas. And yes, I did beat it on easy. I literally said that in my review. I said
It still said it was going to be challenging, though. I imagine you must have still.
Yeah,
died a few
I
times,
still
right?
died. I still
Yeah.
died on easy.
Yeah.
Like the game still kicked my ass a bit. I think the oldest I got was like 29, because I kept buying. I kept knocking 5 years off.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd spend 1,000 XP and make myself younger again, which I shouldn't have done, because if I
Yeah,
let
you
myself stay older, I would have become more powerful anyway.
Yeah.
So I basically stayed weak. But that game is amazing. But yes, enough about the games we have or have not been playing. Remember, Rand should be getting some of this stuff. He'll like it. I'm telling you now, Rand. Trust me. Just get the sample pack and try the different flavors. You'll really, really like it. I can promise you'll like it. That's how confident I am. I can promise it. Okay. I was worried there was going to be nothing to talk about. Jesse reminded me of a few things, and apparently there is. So, happy April Fools to all the people in the US and the UK, because it's April Fool's Day for you guys. It's April 2nd here for me. So it's not April
okay.
Fool's.
Yeah.
So while I was sleeping, a lot of April Fool's stuff got announced. The only thing I saw that while I was awake, and is actually real, is the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's free. It's free on Steam right now. Only Steam, isn't it? I think it's only Steam.
I believe so, yes.
It's a point and click adventure novel thing.
Visual novel, essentially.
Yes. Where Sonic has been murdered and you are trying to figure out the murder. It's a murder mystery. Sonic
It's
the Hedgehog.
made apparently by the social team, Sonic social team, which is kind of
Is it?
interesting. Yeah, that's what I read.
It's a real thing. Like, it's an actual real thing. I thought it was a joke at first, but it's a legit game. I have added it to my Steam library, and it works on Mac.
Okay, nice.
So I can actually play it.
Nice.
Because most of the games that I get on Steam and GOG and Epic and all
Windows
that,
only.
they're all Windows only. This is actually on Mac, so I may give it a go.
These are the best April Fool's jokes. The ones where it's not just like, "Hey, here's something. Oh, it's not real." It's like, "Hey, here's something stupid, and you can play it." You know?
Yeah, but did you see the ROG Ally Steam Deck competitor? Can someone in chat tell me if that thing is real? Because there's a Best Buy link for it. So ROG, Republic of Gamers, apparently made a handheld.
Oh.
And if this thing is fake, it's a good fake. Like they made a full production video for it. It apparently runs Windows. And I thought, ha ha ha, funny joke. But then there's a Best Buy link for it.
People
is that
aren't
thing
sure.
real?
Verge is saying it might be, but it might be real.
Trick. Verge says it's real. Like, is that thing real? Because that runs Windows. So that already puts it above Steam Deck for a lot of people. And depending on its specs, well, man, I don't know. Jesse, have you got any footage of it? Of that thing? Of the ROG Ally, whatever it is?
Here's the Twitter link. Oh, you already got
I got
it?
I've got the Best Buy page up.
Oh, have you? Yeah, look at it. Like, there's a Best Buy page, and that's what made me think: is this thing actually real?
There's no way there'd be April Fools if there's a Best Buy page. I don't see that.
Look at the video they made for it. It's like it's full on. They say introducing ROG's first gaming handheld console. Taking your PC games out of your gaming room is no longer a fantasy. Play wherever you are, wherever you want, with the hashtag ROG Ally. You'll never have to stop gaming. But there's no, I don't know what the specs are. I don't know. And it's got a little dock thing as well. And he just takes just like a Switch. I'm like, man, if this thing is real, like, I'm tempted because the fact that it runs Windows 11. Like,
you know what? It's probably a joke.
Have you ever heard of the IN Neo? If you've got those are very similar, ridiculously good with the 6800U from AMD. Like, if you really want something like that, they make them. And I've tried to get IN Neos for review.
Pico Trick just tagged me on the Verge article by Richard Lawler. This portable PC gaming machine from Asus would be serious competition for the Steam Deck if the company actually puts it on sale. Might not be a joke. So there's this again, they're not sure. No one's sure if it's a joke or not. I hope it's real because I may legitimately get this thing if it's real. Because part of the Steam Deck's issue is it's Steam only. I have so many games on Epic and GOG, and I would love to be able to run all those games. Like, I would buy this thing in a heartbeat if it was real.
You can just get a PC too. You know,
I don't want a PC. I'm done with PCs, like dedicated PCs. I'm done with them.
They do suck.
You should look at this thing, the IN Neo 2. It's not cheap because they don't have their own store, but it's unbelievably performant and nicely made.
How much is it? Probably can't get it in Australia.
900 US, I think.
Oh my god! So it'd be nearly $2,000 Australian.
Yeah, the only reason the Steam Deck is cheap is because they're subsidizing the price because they own the store you're buying the games off of.
It's like a console, right? And they're barely making. Well, they're making a fair bit, but it's still hard to get. Kind of. There
is a cheaper IN Neo. They call it the Geek Edition, I think. I literally think they call it that. Just a little different. Doesn't have as much smooth glass and shit on it, but yeah, same internals. Yeah, and they've got the really good Hall effect joysticks and triggers, so they're not like little capacitive buttons that break over time. They're magnetic sensors that pretty much are supposed to last forever.
Speaking of April Fools, there's a question that asks us about it directly. I don't know if you guys are still doing like the trying to get the questions.
We're terrible at that.
Or okay.
No. We just do it at the end. Banana Peel Jack with another $5 super chat. Jesse, after Diablo 4 beta, what was your favorite class? I am torn between Sorcerer and Rogue, but have not made up my mind. Your thoughts?
I really enjoyed the. I played a little tiny bit of the Necromancer. They were very fun. I know people have liked the Druid. I liked the Barb because I know they're an end game. You need to build yourself up for it to be more powerful class. Unlike the Sorcerer, who's just ridiculously broken early on. But that game feels like they've got 5 classes that they have seemingly nailed. You don't know because you got to be max level, which is like friggin' 100, and then there's insane amounts of Paragon levels after that. You need all your legendaries, and if they do sets, like there's going to be so much to the balance of that game that I say for now, Necromancer, but I have no idea in the end game.
When you were playing the game and you got to level 25, was that enough to get like a full build a full like rotation?
You got one of every move you could unlock for
Okay.
each button on the controller, but for actually making a build, it's a pittance compared to the main game.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
That game's going to be a 5,000 hour game in a year for some people. There's so much to it.
Sure. For me, it'll be about 10.
10,000.
So that's a good just 10, just straight 10 hours, and that'll be it. I don't know how many hours. Actually, I should check on my PS4 how many hours I've got on Diablo 3. Speaking of Diablo, so there were in the days leading up, there was a couple of rumors that Diablo 4 was getting a limited edition Xbox console, and the Twitter account that mentioned it was like, oh, and I don't think it's just a bundle because it doesn't say the word bundle. So they thought it would be an actual limited edition console. Disappointed that it turns out it was not a limited edition console, and it was just a straight up bundle. So there is a Diablo 4 Xbox Series X bundle, which I feel like that was a pretty easy slam dunk. Just to put something on there, just a decal, a sticker.
Have they ever had non-first-party limited editions?
Well,
Cyberpunk, you're right, and Titanfall had the limited edition controller, right?
Hold on, are we talking about the series consoles now? Or are we talking about any Xbox?
Just Xbox consoles in general. They have.
Well, hold on. The 360, they had a Resident Evil 5.
Star Wars R2D2.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty
They
common.
had the Star Wars. Yeah. So no, they've had third-party stuff before.
Not
they had the Cyberpunk 1X.
Not recently, really, though. Just in the past.
Cyberpunk would be the most recent.
The Cyberpunk 1X is recent.
2020, I think. So yeah, that's pretty recent.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's pretty recent. And they've only had one limited edition
3 years
console in the series.
2
Does
years
Sony
into
do
this,
third-party limited edition consoles?
Destiny.
What was that?
Destiny.
Does that? I don't know if I count Destiny as third party, and it was just white, dude. Is that limited edition? It's just
they had a
console.
Battlefield. They had a Battlefield 1X as well.
Oh, they changed the color. Yeah, it was like that gunmetal green. Cool. Oh, that was the series. Gold. That was 1S.
It was the It was the gold gradient. My brother-in-law still has it.
Oh yeah, and they had the friggin' one for the 2K. My friend had that. I bought it with him at GameSpot. The one with the purple dots all over it. Yeah. They do third-party consoles.
They've had plenty of them. They've had plenty of them, and I just feel like, and let's be honest, Diablo is going to be a first-party game soon. Yeah. I feel like this was a real easy slam dunk. Like even something simple, like a red gradient that goes from a nice red to the gray with a Diablo logo on it, or a Lilith silhouette logo, something like this. Just felt like a missed opportunity. But I'm sure that bundle will do well because it's Diablo.
You think they'll have a higher supply? Yeah, sorry, Jesse.
I was just saying, I don't think there's actually been a PS5 or Series LE outside of the Halo one.
PS5 not.
No, there hasn't. There hasn't been. There hasn't been. And PlayStation technically doesn't need them because they've got the plates.
Yeah, it's just a solid color. Like the actual consoles that are different look so much better than just a color change.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the OG PS4 had some really nice limited edition consoles. Like the Batman one was incredible. The Metal Gear Solid one was incredible. I think they had I want to say they had a Dragon Quest one, which was really nice. Yeah, the OG Eraser PS4 that had some very, very nice limited edition consoles.
Honestly, the ones I remember is like the Spider-Man one, which the console looked okay, but the controller was
the
super
PS4 Slim. That was the PS4 Slim
and Pro, Slim and Pro, I think. Right?
Yes, and I got the God of War Pro.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. The God of War Pro.
Honestly, the issues are more the controllers. I want to say, like the controllers are just really boring, always.
Because the DualShock 4 is an ugly controller. So how do you? Like the DualShock 4 is not a controller that lent itself well to limited edition versions.
But even the DS5, the God of War one was just one little logo, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know they cheaped out on that, but the actual color scheme
Oh yeah, I agree with
looks
that.
nice. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a modded DualSense that was made to look like a PlayStation 1 controller, and it looked incredible. Like the DualSense, at least of all the PlayStation controllers, the DualSense at least lends a bit better to limited edition versions.
But dude, when you compare it to like the best Xbox controller, in my opinion, the
Yeah, I
Series
know.
one, and it's like there's no
Yeah, I know. Or the Forza Horizon one.
Yeah, the Titanfall one.
Oh, the Titanfall. I've still got my Titanfall one. My God, that Titanfall one. But yeah, that's a tangent. Anyway,
yes.
The Diablo console, is it just basically, is the price just
You get $10 off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's similar to Sony's saving $10 in God of War Ragnarok, $560.
Yeah.
But do you guys think they'll have more stock for this console once it's on shelves?
There
I
was
assume so. Otherwise, why
there
announce
was the
it?
story that they were 1 year. They were putting most allocation into the cloud. And that was last June. So from this June on, it should be back to most allocation in store if they decide to do that. Because they were so I've stuck by the theory that they are in full on, boy, we're weak, we're terrible, we're awful. Let us have ABK, please, mode, and not having consoles out there and having people call you idiots and saying, what are you doing? Is a part of that.
How quick do you reckon a Call of Duty limited edition console comes out after ABK goes through? Ooh,
I do think if we see one, really, the first one we might see, and I hope it's true, and it might be a reason why it's September now, would be Starfield.
I'm
expecting Starfield to have one for both consoles because the Series S lends itself to limited editions so well. I love the design of that console.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Even though it's still a weird, that black grill still.
Yeah, they change the grill sometimes when they're doing their custom stuff for
like,
giveaways.
Imagine like a Sonic console with the black grill's just a gold ring. Like, it'd be so cool.
Yeah. They've got the thing with the Series X is I still think because the console is so minimal, you need to keep its limited edition designs minimal.
Yeah. Have you seen the Halo one in person?
I've got it.
Oh, you have it?
I have it.
I really like it. I really like it. Like in person, doesn't look that
it's
good.
way better than in photos.
A friend of mine just got it somehow. I don't know. I'm gonna strangle the guy.
How the hell did he get it now?
He bought it months ago and from New York, and he just kept it in a box thinking he was gonna sell it. Then I'm like, dude, just open the damn thing and use it. So he opened it up, and it looks so damn good. It looks so good.
Yeah. Like when I first saw it in photos, I was like, ooh, that's not nice. And I'm like, but it's a Halo limited edition console, so I've got to buy it.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and then in person, I was like, "Ooh, hold on a second, this thing's actually quite nice in person."
Top when you look into it,
it's so really nice. But like, I envision a Diablo console just being the gradient, that deep red to the gray, and you just have this awesome silhouette logo of Lilith just there, taking up probably a quarter of the top of it. It would look so. Phil, come on, let me design your LE consoles. I'll make them amazing, trust me.
But yeah, Starfield should like if they don't launch Starfield with a limited edition console, then that is massively dropping the ball. Or something's wrong, is how I look at that.
But the console designs itself. So similar to the Halo one, you have the stars. Like it's just covered in stars. You have the Starfield logo. And again, just keep it minimal, clean, simple. Maybe have the color of the grill bit at the top instead of green. Make it, I don't know, what would you make it? White? How nice would it be in just white?
White would look nice. Oh,
yeah, you just do it white, stars all over it, Starfield logo at the top, done. That's it. Nice and beautiful and minimal. Be perfection. But yeah, we went on a limited edition console / controller tangent there, but it kind of
was related to Diablo and cloud usage and all that stuff.
Yeah, so get ready to buy yourself a Diablo bundle. I assume that will probably be the only way to get a Series X for a while.
The PS5
in the same way Sony was only selling Horizon bundles and God of War bundles for a bit. I assume this will be something similar. And why wouldn't you?
In my drawer for like 5-6 months. I tried selling it. It's a digital code for this game. I didn't.
Oh my god! Can I have it?
It's on PS Plus. You can just play it through that.
I don't have the higher tier of PS Plus.
Wait, it's on the highest tier? I thought it was on the Game Pass tier.
No, it's not on the. I've got the lowest tier.
Oh, okay, the lowest tier. Honestly, if you want it, I'm not gonna play this. If you want it,
North American?
Yes.
Oh wait, does Sony still do?
It's North American. They
I
do
know I have a
reasonable
North
lot.
American account. I have a North
Yeah.
American
Yeah,
account.
dude.
That's
Yeah, no
okay.
problem, man.
40 bucks.
Oh,
Don't
let's
give him.
gonna
He
play
gets too
that.
much for free.
Yes.
No,
Why
he gets too
not?
much for free. Charge him.
Whatever.
Hey, he invited me
Get
on the
lost.
show. That'll be my
Yeah,
Wow,
I
you're-
provided a community that you all love and feel a part of. Okay,
You were desperate for a co-host and asked him like 10th.
it wasn't
Listen,
10th.
I'm gonna assume it's
It was
the
a
top
higher
five,
number than it
right?
was a lower number than that. It wasn't 10th. It was a lower number.
Let me keep my pride a bit. But yeah, no, honestly though, PlayStation, that was basically a soft price increase. I was looking for months.
Yeah.
I was looking for the digital edition without a game because I was not going to play a physical game ever. Honestly, I think I looked for like a full year, and nope, nothing till I eventually caved and got the Horizon one. It's just
Yeah. Well, my son's just got a plain one waiting for him. Hopefully, he doesn't watch
Nice.
this show and and now finds out that he has a disc edition PS5 waiting for him. But yes, now in news that is not April Fool's related and not a joke. Now, as an Xbox media outlet with a very dedicated Halo segment, we have Forza. We have You Had Me at Halo. We're very pro Halo, even though many of us bag Halo. We're very pro Halo Xbox media outlet. And so we're no strangers to Halo Dad. So when we see E3 Dad, we know it's very, very much real. So for anyone keeping up, E3 has been cancelled. E3 is dead. It's dead. E3 is dead.
interesting
this
transition. Like,
yeah. Apparently this might be for good.
yeah,
Because, E3 has been cancelled a couple of times. But it appears that this might be it. So E3 this year was meant to be run by Reed Pop.
Reed Pop, yeah.
Who is Reed Pop? Can I ask who the hell Reed Pop is?
They run
Who
a
is
bunch of
Reed Pop?
websites. They run PAX things like PAX East and all that, which used to be the Penny Arcade Expo, and then they sold it off to Reed Pop. They run.
Oh my God,
Game
PAX is
History Up
Penny
Biz.
Arcade Expo?
Yeah, they
Penny
run,
Arcade
I know
Expo.
that.
That's what PAX stands for.
Holy crap, I did not know that. What?
I'm Australian, and I knew
What?
that's what it stood for.
Damn. Okay. Sorry, Jesse. Go on. That just kind
Yeah,
of blew my
they do a
mind.
lot of events. They do like Comic-Con in New York, and they work on the Star
Which is a
Wars
massive
celebration.
event. That's like huge.
Yeah, and they've got a
big
bunch of
events.
video game websites like that Eric's guy works with them. Cosplay Digital Foundry is
Game
a part
Informer?
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Eurogamer,
Not saying that.
Game Inform, GameIndustry.biz.
Yeah, Game Industry.
Nintendo Life, Outside Xbox, they've Pure Xbox, Push Square, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG 24/7.
They're all under
They-
Repop.
Yeah, I'll just share the link in chat here, but Repop
Wow.
has a lot of stuff.
Can Reed Pop by us?
No,
I
wanna
don't
be
know,
bought.
man. Looking
I
at that
don't-
list of
look-
sites, it's
Looking at how things are run by actual corporations in the media, I hope we are never bought and only
Yeah.
get funded by our patrons at patreon.com/XboxEra. We can get new, unique content like last night's first episode of Sick and Nick.
I was going to mention that on the
about-
Patron show.
that was a good transition right
Still
there.
do it.
That was well done.
Still do it. You can still mention
I was
it
gonna
repeatedly.
mention
That's
that
what
on
we
the
need to do.
Patron shout.
Always
But
mention it, never
I
stop.
want to do
mentioning it.
this full time. And I
Yep.
feel
Yeah.
like we can only do it full time if we get bored.
No, I mean, look at like
No.
say Easy Allies. They have like a good amount of patrons, and I mean they live in LA, which I guess helps. and they know
Once
each other,
we need
but-
to get big enough where we can get sponsors
Mm.
along with patrons, because that's the big thing. You get sponsored segments and you get your patrons, and you don't have to sell a bunch of your business. But at the very least, I don't want to be bought.
Yeah.
If someone wants to invest and get 5% of the company for 20-30 million, let's do it.
2030. What's that evaluation like? What, like a
Now,
couple billion? What the-
Amit Kumar, I thought my connection was good. I was cross promoting all our Halo stuff while connecting it to E3 being dead. Come on. I thought that was pretty good.
the Halo stuff came out of nowhere.
And did you see Geoff Keighley almost
What was
instantly
that?
dancing on the grave?
That's
I'm like,
messed up, man. I
come
like
on,
Geoff.
dude.
That was messed up.
come on. I did not know Geoff and I are the same age.
Yeah, 1980. Huh?
I had no idea that we are the same age.
Oh, that makes counting your
That's-
age pretty easy, huh? Yeah.
He's a 1980 baby, as far as I can tell. Well, there you go.
But yeah, man,
thought that was
E3.
interesting.
Hytham, why do people hate E3? You want the real answer? It's because Sony
they
left.
don't.
Sony left
They said
5 years
digital.
ago, and they hate it ever since. I'm like that is. I'm telling you right now, that's the primary reason why online you see a bunch of hatred and whatnot. Not counting like industry members and the whole league. That's
I don't,
different. That makes sense.
yeah, I don't know, but like, did you see the Summer Games Fest Twitter account quote tweeting Microsoft's Bethesda show tweet going, "Oh, summer." It's like, dude, it's not part of Summer Games Fest.
No.
Like, don't do that. It's like the Xbox show is not part of Summer Games Fest.
Well, that was 2021. 2021, he had everything listed as part of Summer Games. It's what Jeff Grubb makes fun of with his Summer Game mess.
I saw that in
where
your thing.
you
He's like-
you just say everything is a part of your thing, and like they also just E3 also said Xbox's show is part of E3 that same year. He just says it's a part of it, but he's not running the same thing. He just has his own show. He says everyone else's show is a part of his thing, and then he does a few days for media where you get to play some demos.
It's such an awkward position E3's in, though, because E3 has always been two very distinct parts, right? There's the front-facing part that we all know and love, which is where we all sit down and we watch the shows and we love the shows and memes come out. Or
technically, that's not even a part of E3, right? Like technically, if you want to be like,
but this
E3
is what I'm
doesn't start
saying.
till the week
This
after.
is why I said there's two parts. There's the part that we all think of E3, the gamers, that we watch the shows and we love the shows and we get excited for the game announcements. But then there's the in-person part, which was always traditionally for the media, and they report on stuff and they get to see the behind closed doors and blah, 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 blah. But to support the media part, you need the publishers to buy in to the physical space.
Yeah, set up booths, rent show floor space and everything.
Correct. But for the other part, you're just broadcasting on Twitch or YouTube, but you don't need to be at E3 for that. As we're discovering, they could do it themselves. So it's this weird, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, because they do they get rid of the media side of it and just find a way to monetize all the major publishers being under the banner of E3? But then why would you? You don't need to. Like, it's this weird position they're in. Like, I was actually thinking about it all week. Like, if I was trying to run E3 now, how would I do it? How would I convince these publishers to be part of E3? And the only thing I can think of is that E3, it's the brand, it's the name. Everyone loves E3. Like, people get excited. No one goes, "Oh, Summer Games Fest," and gets all hyped. As soon as you say E3, everyone's like, "Oh my God, E3." Like, that's the only thing I think they have to sell, the E3 brand. So, as weird as this sounds, I feel like just cut the media part off altogether, because it's so hard to organize physical now. And it's so hard to convince publishers to want to, unless you make it so ridiculously cheap.
No, but Nick, that is the only thing they do. They don't organize Xbox's show or Ubisoft's show or EA's show.
I know, but that's what that's why I said this is hard, because I don't.
So without the physical part, what do they do? E3 never had a central show like a Summer Games Fest.
That's why I said the only thing you're selling is the brand.
Yeah,
the brand E3.
Repop bought the brand and was doing it for the first time. And E3's thing was a trade show for industry people to come and meet and sell their game.
I know, but unless you make it ridiculously cheap, right? Unless you make the in-person part ridiculously cheap, I don't think you're going to always struggle to have publishers coming to your show. You're going to struggle to convince them to spend the money for that floor space. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just this weird position they're in now where, and I feel for them. Like,
honestly, I think Geoff has the right idea, which is to get, not his show. His show is whatever. E3 was never about some central showcase that showed trailers. That's not what E3 was, right? Like, I mean, like the actual event. But his part of like having another smaller industry only kind of like invite event, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you tell Ubisoft, "Hey, we want you to set up booths here, but we need you to set up 100 booths because we're inviting the public and we need a bunch of them," right? Compared to, "Hey, we have like 100 journalists coming, roughly. You got to set up maybe like 15 booths. It'll be cheaper. You got to rent as much floor space," you know, that kind of stuff. That's probably the way to go.
Jeff has a separate problem. Like, Geoff, I feel, and I don't even know if he's trying or not, but I feel like Geoff is struggling. See, the beauty of E3 was pure. E3 was about the games, and it was about the devs, and it was about the gamers, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Summer Games Fest and also the Game Awards are about Geoff.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to knock him.
And his advertisers.
It's the byproduct. That's the byproduct of being the person who runs it, but also hosts and organizes it. Like, it's just a byproduct of that. Like, it feels like, even if it's unintentional, and I'm sure it is unintentional, it feels like it's all about Geoff.
I like Geoff a lot. I watched him a lot in the game trailers days, and I feel like he really does care about the industry, and he's like passionate
of course he
about
does.
it.
He has like he's not going to do
biases,
this stuff if
sure.
he didn't.
Exactly,
He wouldn't,
100%. Right?
He would have invested all his money. I wouldn't be surprised if in the early days he bloody mortgaged his house to do this. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't.
Like reviving
care.
TGA took a lot of work for him, and it worked out.
Correct.
And,
that's right.
You know, big props to the guy. But SGF Summer Games Fest, this is the one event where he should make it less about him and more about the industry.
But I don't think he means to make it all about him. I just think it's a byproduct of the fact that he runs it, but also hosts it. So it's just
he runs the Twitter account. He makes the trailers. You know, he does maybe too much.
That's what I'm saying. So it just unintentionally feels like it's all about Geoff, which takes away from it. Like, you know, the Game Awards now is this ongoing joke of him bringing all his best mates on and trying to get bands on.
And I hate that.
And then Summer Games Fest, it's all about him, and he posts on Twitter about the stuff he's seen. Like, I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I legitimately don't think he's doing it on purpose, but it's just become that way. It's all about Geoff. So I feel like the only way to fix that is that he needs to probably step away and let others host and let others don't have a face. E3 never had a face. I couldn't tell you who runs the ESA. I have no idea who runs the ESA. I didn't know who ReedPop was until now, and I don't know who runs ReedPop. With Geoff, you know it's Geoff. So it's all about Geoff.
You know, one could argue that SGF, the Summer Games Fest, the event, the fact that he's making it an event with trailers and things like that, could potentially be hurting some of the other shows. Like, if you have this other show and Capcom's like, okay, I can do my own show, or I can just give Sony this, Xbox this, Summer Games Fest this, and my own show is some of the worst things I've ever put on. Like, me and Jesse, I'm sure you remember, one of those Capcom shows was awful. Like, it was 30 minutes of why did you even put this on? You know? So when you have a centralized show like that, you kind of almost hemorrhage and cannibalize a little bit from other shows that could be happening. I don't know.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? Because I still feel like Microsoft still acknowledge, like, I feel like Microsoft still subtly acknowledges E3 by putting their show at their traditional E3 time every year.
I mean, isn't Phil part of the ESA? He's on the board, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. But I
Microsoft's
feel like
on the ESA board.
I feel like that's Microsoft's nod to E3 and acknowledging E3. So that's the part that made me think, does the ESA, or now ReedPop, do they try and sell E3 as a brand as opposed to selling an in-person show? Because the only way I feel like the only way an in-person show thing works now is if it's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way. Where at least if you can find a way to create E3 week in an online way where everyone just falls under the banner of E3, and just that name might just be strong enough to make it work and everyone gets to look forward to E3 week.
You know what? People on the comments, they mention it too, and they have a point where it's like, why do you need it, right? Publishers can be like, why would I pay you money to host space? I can just do my own stuff.
You don't need it.
Right? And you don't need it. You're right. That's the answer. But, I mean, just because you don't need something doesn't mean you can't do something. You know what I mean?
You don't need anything. You don't need video games, but
exactly.
Here we are.
Exactly.
To me, I think the way... This is just and again, I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but the only thing I can think of that ReedPop can do going forward is find a way to convince the publishers to do all their shows that week.
Yeah.
Under the banner of E3 and you make your money through advertising. That's the only way I can think of. So E3, Xbox show, sponsored by, brought to you by this, and then Reed Pop gets the cut. Running ads, all that sort of stuff, post-show stuff. That's the only way I can think of that they make it work. We all get our E3 week that we get excited about. Reed Pop doesn't go bankrupt. That's the only way I can think of. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm saying that's the only way I can.
I'm not gonna lie. That's one of my issues with Geoff's shows. Is I know all of E3 is one big advertisement. I get it. It's not some big revelation like, oh, you're just watching ads. I know they're ads, right? But when you have ads in between your ads, like in Geoff's shows, it feels a little different. You know what I mean? Like a little. And Microsoft's had them too. In one of their XOs a few years ago, Mortal Kombat X was the game that was in between every damn segment, right? So they're not strangers to it. But maybe you're right. Maybe that's where they make their money back. Run ads through the show. But then why wouldn't Xbox just take that money? They're like, hey, we're running ads on our show.
Why don't we? That's why I said it's hard. That's why I said it's hard. I don't know how you solve this problem because I miss E3. I like E3.
I 100% miss E3. And by E3, I don't mean like the physical event that was nice. I mean, hey, this is the week of the year that I'm looking forward to. Literally, the day it ends, I'm looking forward to the next
Christmas.
Year's.
It is gamer Christmas week.
Yeah. Like I don't even celebrate Christmas, and this is my Christmas week as a gamer. You know what I mean?
It's sad.
It was like, so you have the shows, and then Monday, Tuesday, like I remember one time, Assassin's Creed Origins, they showed it with the CGI trailer in, I think, Xbox's show. I don't remember. And it was a cool trailer, right? It was a CGI. And then like an hour later, you have this 40-minute interview with it being played the entire time.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have people on YouTube coming out, releasing their impressions like, hey, I played 20 minutes of Assassin's Creed. Let me tell you what I thought. You know, like, it all worked together so well to make this amazing, memorable week. And it's just,
it's sad. But
it might not be over though. Is how I look at it.
Maybe they'll try again. They've got a year to think about how to make it work.
No, I don't even mean specifically E3. I mean like that week of shows could still potentially happen. Ubisoft is going the 12th. Microsoft's going the 11th. If Nintendo ends up doing something in June,
they'll all still subtly acknowledge it's E3 by all putting their stuff that week. But we'll see how we go. Man, I'm surprised how long we spoke about E3 for, but anyway.
It's just it sucks that it's dying. I'll end with that. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. So speaking of jokes and April Fools, something that wasn't a joke, our friend Jawmuncher created some headlines because those of us who know Jaw, so Jaw's in our Discord, the XboxEra Discord, and those of us who know Jaw will know that he likes to take trips to New Zealand. But the problem is sometimes Jaw forgets to fly back to the US after taking his holidays in New Zealand. So I believe he went to New Zealand for Resident Evil 4, forgot to switch it back, and saw a Game Pass family ad on his dashboard and took a screenshot of the ad going, oh, look at this. They've just subtly launched Game Pass Family in the US for $39.95 at news outlets. Now, all of us at XboxEra were like, Joe, what are you doing, dude? You're still in New Zealand. Other news outlets actually ran with it and made articles and everything. And it's like, do Americans not know that they don't have a 95 pricing structure? Americans go 99. In Australia and New Zealand, we go 95.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So 99 is a very uniquely American thing, I think, and like probably Canada.
Yeah. NA probably, yeah.
In Australia and New Zealand, we go 95. So we do 99.95, 39.95, whatever 95. That's how we do our pricing here. That should have probably been the first clue that Jaw was not set to the US for his console. But hey, a lot of big sites too, they ran with it and were like, why would Microsoft stealth launch Game Pass Family in the US? Like,
you get to ask one of those sites next week when he's on.
Windows Central
Windows Central did Jez.
Yeah, Brendan Lowry put up an article about it. Yeah,
and dude, the funny part is,
I think he mentioned the New Zealand thing, but Still, they put it up there just as the headline.
This isn't the first time. Do you guys remember when there was a scare that Game Pass price went up? They're
Yeah,
like, oh,
it
it's
was
$19
also-
a month now.
It was
Same
one of the people
problem.
who won one of our recent giveaways, Gold Shell. His friend had gone to New Zealand to
Really?
play Monster Hunter Rise early, noticed
Yeah.
this friends and family thing, and went, "Oh my goodness!"
That's so funny
Oh,
because these
man.
consoles, that's what they like. When I log into my US PlayStation account
Mm.
on my PS4 or my PS5, now PS5, the dashboard totally changes. Your
Yeah.
dashboard looks so different to ours. And it's the same with the Xbox. When you switch to all the different countries, you get all those different tiles and slight tweaks here and there to suit that region. So I just thought that was a funny little thing to mention that our friend caused some headlines. Funny he stopped replying to basically all the tags he was copying.
Immediately went to sleep.
He's normally very responsive.
You know what surprised me though? The amount of people in the Era thread that were like, 40 is not bad. 5 people, that's still a pretty good deal. There were like a surprising amount of people that said that. I'm like, oh,
It
I
is
get it.
mathematically, if you have that many people, it's still half
Right?
price. But
Which
you
is
know,
I
pretty
was
damn
so
good.
glad that wasn't the US price though, because if that was the US price, it
Oh,
would have
you
been
guys are
like
screwed.
60 Australian, 70
Yeah.
Australian. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a bridge. Like, even 40 for me is pushing it a bit, 40 a month. But I'm guessing if it's 40 New Zealand, it'll be 30 or 35 Australian.
Oh, you guys don't have it
Um,
yet in Australia.
No, Australia
Okay.
doesn't have it yet.
Why? That's weird. If it
So
launches
my
in New
guess
Zealand.
is it'll be about 30, 35 Australian is my
Yeah.
guess, which is a
Yeah.
bit more reasonable for
What's your
5
monthly
people.
cost for Game Pass Ultimate?
16
18?
for Ultimate.
16. Okay.
16 for me for
Okay.
Ultimate.
and it's
15.95
full Game Pass Ultimate for all 5 people. That means
For
all
all
5
5
people
people.
get
Yeah.
cloud streaming,
Yep.
which is the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So
And there is
that's-
one
that's-
thing not in our notes, Nick, that did come.
Oh
up.
no, I was about to mention it.
Mm.
So before we go to the main topic, Arc 2. I think we briefly mentioned this on the movie podcast. Arc 2 has allegedly been delayed.
It was their own blog post. It has.
Oh,
been.
was it? They officially delayed it.
And
Oh,
there's more in that blog post too. They're
Yeah.
also turning off the servers for Arc 1, but they're releasing a next gen version of Arc 1 called Arc Survival Ascended. But that's only Series and PlayStation, which means people on Xbox One and PS4 don't get to play Arc anymore.
Ooh, lucky my
Wait.
mate bought himself
really?
a Series
They're
S.
turning off the servers. Yeah.
A mate of
Wait.
mine bought a Series S. Lucky he did because he's an Arc freak. He plays Arc non-stop and he's been on a VCR Xbox One for
Oh my
like
God.
so many years.
Oh my god. Wait,
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
update is not playable on the base
It's
consoles?
in August. It's a free next gen upgrade, and then they turn off last gen consoles servers.
Holy crap. That's
Yeah.
that's
And it's
interesting.
switching to Unreal Engine 5 as well, isn't it?
Now that it's coming out at the end of 2024, I really hope
Yeah.
so.
No, I mean
Yeah.
Arc 1.
Oh, Arc 1. I will believe I'll see a game in Unreal Engine 5 when I see it. I've heard people say it, and if it is Unreal Engine 5, I bet you that version gets delayed too.
Why does Soul keep disappearing?
He's in a very active house with people who always come to his door and never leave him alone.
Right.
So he mutes his mic and then he goes away and then he.
Okay.
Sorry, my nieces and nephews are over, so it's like pandemonium. That's why I keep muting myself every once in a while too, because they're right next to my door.
Just hit them
Right?
and they'll stay away. Just
I
help them.
gotta get a
Just
glass of water soon, but that's in a bit.
Just whack. Just back of the head. Bang. And just tell them to stay away.
Call him a malaka.
That's
okay,
crazy
so
though. They're
yes.
abandoning last gen
Arc
consoles,
2.
huh? Damn.
Yep. Arc 2. Okay, now the next two topics
not a
kind
free
of tie
upgrade.
into each other. So as part of the whole ABK circus that we all know and love, there was the senator that came out sort of questioning Japan, saying, well, hold on a second, why aren't we having a look over in Japan and what's going on over there? There's some very monopolistic practices going over there with Sony, because they've got like 96% of the market over there.
The high-end
market. The high-end market.
High performance console market, right?
Yeah. And then of course, see, this is why this ABK discussion is so gross and
Yeah.
disingenuous and annoying and all those things. It's because no one's consistent. Everyone just flips and shifts their goalposts to suit the team they're on. Because, let's not forget, it was Sony who planted the high-end market seed with regulators. It was Sony who planted that seed to better their argument to stop Microsoft buying ABK. Problem is, though, that's come back to bite them in the ass in Japan now. Because in Japan, Microsoft essentially doesn't exist from a high-end market perspective. So don't get me wrong, the senator, the US senator, which everyone was accusing of corruption, she wasn't talking to regulators or anything like that. I'm not even 100% clear on how it all came about. I think it had to do with foreign trade agreements.
It gets kind of complicated.
Yeah. It had to do with foreign trade agreements or something like that, saying that Sony, what did she say? That the Sony's practices are interfering with the free trade agreements or something like that with Japan, between the US and Japan.
I don't know, something.
I think it's more about how their version of the FTC over there is just allow Sony to do whatever they want, essentially. Look the other way.
Yes. Yeah.
In that market.
So they sort of flipped the script on Japan a little bit.
Microsoft bought her out for only $8,000.
Yeah.
Wow. That's how much it takes to buy a senator.
Cheap. She came real cheap.
Damn.
Didn't she? And in very interesting timing, not long after that senator was probing around the free trade agreements between the US and Japan, the Japan FTC was like, no problem. ABK's all good. And they just cleared it. It was just like, whoop. They were like, hey, we don't need to look at anything. We don't have to dig into anything at all. We reckon this deal is all above board. No concessions, no concerns, nothing at all.
Stop looking at us.
Now, why would Japan block anything? Because and this is where things get interesting, I think. I mean, I don't know how much there is to talk about Japan clearing the deal. They cleared it. Like, if you want to make a connection between the US senator questioning the fair trade agreement and FTC in Japan allowing the deal, go for it. Maybe there's some dots to be connected there. The part that I found immediately interesting about Japan clearing ABK is, and once ABK clears, because I've seen a lot of fear-mongering on Twitter and stuff about, if they allow ABK, they have to allow anything Microsoft tries to buy. That is not true. That is not true at all.
Of course not. It's such a stupid argument.
It is. It's one of the dumbest arguments. What I think ABK and everything that has come out as a result of ABK does do is very much pave the way for a very smooth Japanese publisher acquisition.
It's like the little building blocks, right? Kind of like setting up.
Like if you think about it now, so let's say my dream comes true and Microsoft goes for Capcom.
But that's your dream with Sega.
Yes, my dream is Sega, but the reason I say Capcom is because Capcom is better probably from a business perspective.
Of course. Not even probably, it just is better, 100%.
I am gifted with the ability to be very objective.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Capcom is the better buy for Microsoft, as much as Nick, would prefer Sega. I actually love both in an ideal world. But from a business perspective, Capcom is the better buy than Sega. Yeah. So let's say in a hypothetical scenario, they go for Capcom. This is Japan now. So what do regulators block and on what grounds? Because forget this whole myth that keeps getting perpetuated that, an American company can't buy a Japanese company. Don't worry about that myth, because that's a myth.
Mm-hmm.
What do regulators block? What do they block on? What grounds do they block on?
3 million sales. That's blockable.
So Sony's arguments that they've been using thus far to block ABK hold literally zero weight in Japan because Microsoft has no presence in Japan.
Yep.
So Microsoft can turn around and go, well, hold on, we're trying to strengthen, Sony is global, Nintendo is global. We're not very global. We have zero presence in Japan. We want to buy Capcom to strengthen our position in Japan. What are regulators going to say? No, you're too strong in Japan. They sell 10 consoles a week. They have next to zero presence in Japan. So what are they blocking on? They're not going to foreclose Sony if they buy Capcom. Even if they made Capcom's content exclusive, they can't foreclose Sony with it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't dominate cloud in Japan because Japan is like the one place where cloud is very prevalent and Microsoft still has no presence there. So what do regulators block on and what can Sony cry about? What can they be upset about and oppose in Japan specifically?
I could see Nintendo giving some complaints because they work with Capcom a fair bit here and there.
I think Nintendo would complain about Square.
Yeah, for sure.
Because don't forget, Nintendo hates Sony. So if everyone's like, oh, Sony's going to buy Square. Don't make that assumption because if Sony tried to buy Square, Nintendo would have very stern words to say about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Nintendo would probably go out of their way to stop Sony from buying Square. Because Nintendo is very... Square gives a lot of content to Nintendo.
Yep.
Capcom less so. What does Capcom put on Switch that Microsoft wouldn't just agree to keep putting on Switch anyway?
It would be Monster Hunter, really. That's a monster Switch title. Pun intended.
And Microsoft wouldn't stop it.
Of course not.
Microsoft would continue to release.
No.
The only thing, again, this is me trying to be as upfront as possible. The only thing I see Microsoft doing if they bought Capcom is taking everything off PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because it's not COD anymore. It's now Capcom. It's now Resident Evil.
Look at Activision Blizzard.
Evil,
there's a reason they haven't mentioned any other game. Not a single other game. Right? It's just COD. So yeah, the next Spyro, no, that's not releasing on PlayStation, guys.
Yeah, that's okay.
No.
Neither is Crash.
No, not at all.
Neither is Crash. Neither is Tony Hawk. If there's going to be another Tony Hawk, that ain't coming out on PlayStation.
That Blizzard survival game, I can guarantee if it's not announced before the deal, that is not releasing on PlayStation. No way.
Yep. So Capcom is an interesting one because how do you stop it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can stop it on, even if Microsoft does choose to make, because again, can you imagine if Microsoft announced their intention to buy Capcom and then Sony tried to whinge about, well, we've bought, we're trying to establish ourselves in the fighting game community and they're taking away Street Fighter. And Microsoft's were like, hold on a second. What did you do in 2016, which basically shut our console off from the entire fighting game community?
Dude, not just that. They bought Evo. Just point at that.
And they bought Evo.
You bought the main tournament that these guys play. Like, what?
But that's another reason why buying Capcom would be so strategically smart. Because you effectively not cripple Evo, but you do some serious damage to Evo. Because remember, Microsoft's got MLG if they buy ABK. So all of a sudden, Street Fighter and Killer Instinct are there with MLG.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, MLG gets a massive leg up because it's got Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Capcom, that's why I said Capcom from a business perspective is the far better choice than Sega. Sega is a selfish choice for me.
I still think Sonic would be a really nice fill-in to a lot of the holes Microsoft has.
But even with Nintendo, see, Microsoft would just keep Sonic on Nintendo.
Yep.
Do most other stuff cloud and take everything off PlayStation.
Yeah.
With Sega as well.
One thing I want to say is...
I'm not saying like that. That is what I think they would do.
Yeah. No.
That is what
and there's no reason why they can't do that if they choose to do so.
They have no presence in Japan, especially if you stick to this stupid high-end argument, this high-end console argument that they keep... Like, even on the Xbox side, we think that high-end market argument is stupid. But
that's one thing I'll say is that the whole 12 senators talking about the high market, that is a stupid argument. It's one of the dumbest things I've read. But it's not Microsoft making this argument like, oh, look at this, like the error thread thought for the first 3 pages. No, it's them using Sony's words as kind of like, you brought this into it. We're going to use it.
And the regulator's own words.
Yeah.
This is what people don't get. Anyone with this latest round of drama, anyone shitting on Microsoft in this is very ill-informed. Microsoft is playing by the rules that have been set for them. So Sony and the regulators set the rules, saying, well, there's a high-end market now and we're ignoring Nintendo.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Japan gets brought up and everyone's like, oh, but Nintendo dominates there. It's like, okay, but we're not including Nintendo, remember? We're only talking about the high-end market. So Nintendo doesn't count. They're your rules. They're the ground rules you laid out. And we're just playing by them.
For the people saying that, like, oh, but the CMA dropped it. The CMA dropped it after Microsoft pulled out their terrible math equation, whatever the hell they use, which is still blows my mind, to be honest, that they made it through. They were actively using that high performance console definition for most of their investigation.
For the entire time.
For the entire
argument.
Yeah. So no, it's not a case of like, oh, they dropped it, it's useless. No, they used it seriously.
Yeah. They used it as a very real reason to potentially block it.
Hey, Capcom
because they suddenly thought Microsoft would foreclose Sony. Like that was ever a possibility.
And like, I guess they knew that the moment that definition wasn't used, their entire argument falls to pieces. Because it's like, hey, here's the best selling console on the market. It doesn't have this game.
Without COD. Without any ABK content. Like what does the outside of like Spyro, Crash, and the Tony Hawk?
I think Diablo 3 is on the Switch. I'm not sure, but I think
that's years ago now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Recent content, they have basically next to no recent ABK content, and the main game everyone's focusing on is COD. Nintendo platforms haven't had a COD game since the Wii U, and they're doing just fine. The irony is that the Wii U got plenty of COD games and was the worst selling Nintendo console. That's the irony of it.
That's funny. Hey, Capcom has Castlevania, right? That's Capcom?
Konami.
No,
Konami. It's Konami. It's Konami. God damn it.
Capcom is Mega Man. Capcom is
Resident Evil,
Street Fighter.
Maximo.
Wait, Ghouls and Ghosts is Capcom?
Maximo.
Ooh,
sorry.
Okay. Ghouls and Ghosts is what I call it, because that's
Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins. They both exist.
Yeah.
Street Fighter,
Resident Evil,
Power Stone, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter,
Dragon's Dogma.
Ghost
for the
Trick,
10 people that play that.
Dragon's Dogma.
Final Fight, Devil May Cry, Darkstalkers.
Oh yeah,
Devil May Cry,
DMC.
Final Fight. Yep. Darkstalkers.
Beautiful Joe, Strider.
Beautiful Joe.
Rival Schools,
Strider.
Monster Hunter.
I'm not gonna lie though.
So
Koei Tecmo has got like my interest. That'd be an interesting purchase. Really.
I suspect that if Microsoft, I still think Microsoft's going to go for at least one.
Yeah, they have
to publish a post ABK. My suspicion is they'll have a little bit of a chat with Nintendo before they go ahead with it and say, look, this is who we're thinking of going for. You tell us what you're concerned about. You tell us what you still want, and we'll work out a deal. But Jim's not getting anything. Just letting you know.
Nintendo seems fully on board, dude. They signed that agreement, that 10-year agreement like this. GoldenEye released on both consoles. Banjo-Kazooie came out. You know what I mean? Like they seem like
Nick hinted that there's already an agreement that's never come out in public.
That still didn't happen yet, right? The one you heard about? That was like 2 years ago. I remember that episode.
It hasn't.
All right.
I know I could have. Look, in hindsight, I wish I had just taken the W on GoldenEye or Banjo or Minecraft in Smash. I wish I had just ended it there and said, yep, that agreement was Minecraft in Smash and the amiibos. That's the agreement. And then it would have been like, haha, look at that. I've been asking. Trust me, I've been asking. I assure you, I've been asking.
But yeah, the dominoes are falling. It honestly looks like this is going through by the original date. Original date Microsoft gave us, which was June 29th, 2023. That's what they said years ago.
I hope it goes through by the end of May.
I think it will.
Diablo on Game Pass.
I mean,
the Diablo on Game Pass.
What are they called? The EC, the E. Forget what the EU one is called.
EU, whatever.
The EU one is called. Their deadline's May 26th, from what I know. Their delayed deadline.
Okay.
So I feel like that's once that goes through.
Go through by then, because I still reckon they've got the finger on the button on that Game Pass Diablo button, just
the
waiting.
One that could hold it up is the FTC, because they've come out again this week and been like, it doesn't matter if we know we're going to lose, we will keep suing you no matter what, as long as we can, to be as annoying as possible because we want to get public
But they can
wins.
still close the deal. They can still
Yeah.
close the
And
deal
then
and
get
ignore
sued
the
and deal with the
FTC,
lawsuit.
which they will. They've openly said.
Yeah, the only way they
we-
couldn't is if they got the federal injunction to stop it, but they're not going to get that.
That's not
They
going to
didn't
happen.
try to.
You know who is still investigating further? China took it to phase 3. That was kind of interesting. I didn't look into it more than that.
That
but-
was because they are really backlogged and
okay.
just
okay.
behind is the supposed
like,
reason for that.
I mean, Blizzard and NetEase fell apart. Like,
Ooh,
would
dude, not just
care
fell
about
apart.
China?
They smashed that statue to pieces.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, would they really care about China enough to stop them from just closing the deal? Nah.
I feel like these guys thought China was like this uber market of untapped and untouched potential over the last like 6 years, and now you're looking at it, and even film is like
That's where
we
the
don't care about
classic
China
1% meme was born.
Yeah.
You just need 1% of China. You just need 1%. That's where that classic 1% meme was born. Hey, I was one of the idiots that said it. Man, if they can just get 1% of China, they'll be massively successful.
Change the background.
Yes, I vertically flipped it so you can actually see more of the bubble.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Huh.
Clever. Very clever.
Thank you.
Do we want to talk about ABK anymore?
What else is to talk about? I mean, there's a dumb argument
I
being
don't
made.
know.
It's probably going to
Japan
close.
cleared it. I still think they're going to go for a Japanese publisher next
Mhm.
after ABK is done. Because now that so much of this stuff has come out about Japan, I don't know, man. I think it paves the way to
And
make
for
it
anyone
smoother than first thought.
thinking that if they get ABK means the door's wide open, it's not. You go through the entire goddamn regulatory process again. And I personally think they have maybe 1 or 2 more publishers until regulatory bodies are like,
Small publishers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And Japan is where they're going to get away with it because
Yeah.
they're so ridiculously non-existent in Japan that, again, what grounds would regulators have to block a Japanese acquisition? There's no grounds.
There
for
are
it.
a few other COD games though, Britt. FIFA is definitely one. GTA is one. Those are like the 2 really. So like EA, Take-Two, that's never happening. Obviously, that is.
Yeah.
I don't think they even ever want to.
Not after
No.
ABK closes.
Not after ABK. No.
If ABK fell through,
Yeah.
then you're looking at EA and Take-Two.
Yep.
But if ABK goes through, they're not going to then look at EA and actually expect it to go through or
Mhm.
Take-Two. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, so we've let you buy COD. Yeah, you can have GTA as well. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. Or
Not
you
a
have
problem.
COD. Sure. Go ahead and get Apex Legends. Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah,
no
get
problem.
FIFA. Get FIFA
Yeah,
and Madden.
yeah. What's the matter?
That's okay if you have total control over FIFA and Madden. Not a problem.
Yeah. No. This is
Especially
it.
now
This is the
that
last
FIFA
giant publisher.
And remember, EA now, FIFA's not part of EA
Mhm.
Sports Soccer
FC
now.
Sports, right? That's something like that.
So all of a sudden, I
FC
doubt
Club,
there'd be an agreement there that FIFA has to stay multi-platform going forward, like EA's soccer game has to stay multi-platform going forward. So if they were to buy EA, all of a sudden the game we all knew as FIFA, it's not like MLB, where MLB has said, no, we want everything multi-plat. There's no FIFA governing that anymore.
Mhm.
So if Microsoft buys EA, all bets are off when it comes to the soccer game.
One last question, Nick, about ABK. Now that they removed the consoles from the requirement, right? Microsoft's still going to give Sony a 10-year deal. Obviously, they're going to do that. It looks good. That being said, do you think that 10-year deal is going to be like as strict, like it needs to be parity feature wise and everything, like they were planning on
I
earlier?
don't know. It'll
Or are they
depend
going
if
to give
Microsoft will
Xbox
stick to
like
their word.
a map early or an extra spot for customization, like they give PlayStation?
I
people?
guess the argument is that with Game Pass, maybe they don't need to.
Yeah.
If it's coming, if
Yeah.
COD's coming out on Game Pass, day one on Game Pass, do they need all that other stuff? I'm
Yeah,
sure
fair
they
enough.
could do it, but do they need it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Brett,
By
by the
strict,
way,
Brett,
Brett,
I meant
maybe I
like,
was
yeah.
mistaken. Wasn't all that licensing stuff with FIFA governing that?
No. FIFA
It's
has
the
2
clubs and
things. So
stuff.
you've got the FIFA governing body to call it FIFA, and then you've got
Yeah.
the FIFA club license for every single team license that they get. They're still
Yeah.
going to have that FIFA club license. So though that FIFA club license to have all those teams and all those players, still probably going to want it multi-plat to maximize their earnings.
Okay. Well, then I'm an idiot then. So yeah, I thought if with FIFA going, that mandate no longer has to be in place because it's not FIFA's thing anymore. And EA could technically do whatever they wanted with it. I know NFL would stay the same because NFL is still tied to Madden. Like it's still the Madden thing. I thought with FIFA then breaking off, that changes things. But
Yeah, it was always
clearly
a
I'm
double
wrong.
FIFA, the double FIFA conundrum.
Yeah,
Clearly
but
I'm
yeah,
wrong.
don't worry. Any Warriors, they're not going to get a major giant publisher after ABK.
No,
It's not happening.
that's it. After ABK, that'll be the only big quote
Mhm.
unquote big publisher. Like
Like
just
ABK
regulators wouldn't
level
allow
publisher.
anything else.
Yeah,
Yes,
like smaller publishers,
EA.
Capcom, Sega,
Well, not that there's many of them. Like there's
Paradox.
EA.
There
there's
isn't another
Take-Two.
ABK.
Yeah, but EA and Take-Two are in that.
Yeah.
They are.
They're
They're in
even
that
then, they're
bracket.
about half of
And
what
like Epic.
ABK actually
Epic
is.
would be
No,
up
but
there.
they're still like they are still what I would like in terms of big, both monetarily and staff size. I'm thinking ABK, Take-Two, EA, and Epic.
Yes.
They're the four. I know people say Ubisoft. Ubisoft are the biggest in terms of staff.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft in terms of monetary value are very probably below Capcom.
Ubisoft won't happen because of the logistical nightmare acquiring that company.
Yeah, it's too much. It's just such a
Yeah.
huge
Also,
amount of
it's
stuff.
family owned technically, so there's a different element of that there. But one thing I think gets kind of left behind is whatever purchase they make next, they're going to be looking at mobile first. Is how I'm looking at it, because that is clearly one of their primary goals. ABK King is like what, like a third of that revenue, if not more, of their 7.
Sega's pretty big in mobile.
They are really big, which kind of makes me more interested. You know, we'll see.
The Sonic games do quite well on mobile.
Yeah. And now we're living in a post Last of Us world TV show where now these IPs are becoming more and more valuable when it comes to cross media. You know,
Sonic movies did pretty well.
Dude, Sonic media does stupidly well for some reason. For decades. For decades, it is constantly relevant.
Sonic is bigger in media now than he is in the games.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Okay.
But I think that's it.
Yes,
I think that's
no more.
We've covered it enough.
You know, the only publisher kind of close to ABK in actual valuation is Sony.
Sony.
That makes sense.
Not even
so
Nintendo.
Sony.
Hold on, it's April Fool's for you guys. Well, I heard a rumor that Microsoft's
No, we're not doing that. Absolutely not.
So I may have heard
some backdoor deals with Jim.
It's still April Fool's where you guys are.
That being said,
that Nintendo's valuation is so it's like half. Even they are like a half-ish.
Nintendo's weird though, dude. They're such an
ABK,
old company. They're grounded. They're not going flipping anywhere. You know what I mean?
No, you can't. I mean,
Microsoft
Japan, they're
already
probably one of the ones
tried.
Japan wouldn't actually allow.
Yeah, for sure.
Easily. You have to really.
They'd be protected.
And
But
even
Microsoft's
Sony-
already tried. They already tried.
They're laughed out of the room, right?
It's not going to happen.
We have
but yeah.
190 people watching and less than 100 likes. Come on, guys, hit that like
come
button.
on, guys.
Ooh.
Get those
Get it
numbers up. They're rookie
And I gotta
numbers.
like.
Get those
You think
numbers
John
up.
like makes scenarios beforehand, makes some fancy way of getting people to click like, or is it all on the spot?
Oh no, you just got to remind people they don't think of it ahead of time.
No, what I mean is he always has like a
certainly does
story,
not.
you know?
Oh no, he's just a
You're
good
thinking of
bullshit
me. You're
artist.
thinking of me and Manscaped.
That too. That had to be
yeah,
prepared
yeah.
beforehand. That has to be.
Nick
and
repairs.
speak-
John is just full of shit, so he's really good at smooth talking people.
Yeah. So speaking of Manscaped, it is actually now time for name a game.
Ah, flip.
All right,
It's
hitting
just
that
easy.
button.
Okay. Okay. Name a game time. Now,
You guys
remember
gonna log
everyone.
into buzzing? I gave you the goddamn
Yes,
code.
I'm logging in.
Oh,
now.
yeah, we gotta
I'm
log
waiting
into
for him to do
Buzzing.
his story.
Yeah.
Where is it? Okay. I love how that easy.
Oh, damn it! Forgot to do a nickname. I gotta play again.
Now, I know whenever we talk about Manscaped, we always refer to the lawnmower, the Lawnmower 4.0, the fantastic Lawnmower 4.0 ball trimmer. Really, really good ball trimmer, especially if you choose to not use the guard. Like, it works really, really well. But you know what? Manscaped has something new. Like, I know they sent me the Weedwhacker, but now they have the Weedwhacker 2.0. So they're up to 4.0 with the lawnmower. They now have the Weedwhacker 2.0 at Manscaped, and this thing looks full on. And me being the old man that I am, I have very real use for the Weedwhacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer. Being a 42-year-old Greek man, as you can imagine, I have very real use for the Weedwhacker. Jesse too, part Lebanese. He'd probably have decent use for it too.
And the other grandmother's Sicilian, super hairy, monkey people.
Yeah, look at that. Part Italian, part Lebanese, and me Greek. We're just the hairy squad. So we would have very real use for the Manscaped Weedwhacker 2.0. I don't know. I need to check. I need to find out, because if this thing's got the USB-C charging that the lawnmower has, mate, it's like the best feature. That's what I want. So make sure you go to Manscaped, and for those of you like me that need to get in there, and in there, just get yourselves the Weedwhacker 2.0, and always don't forget to grab the undies. Look, always grab the undies. Always. Look at them. They're really good.
God.
We're now rated for adults, thanks to all the pubes on screen. Thank you.
Look at that.
All right, now I'll put my face on. Hi, everyone.
Always.
And
Oh God.
we're going to get
Yourself
asked,
the undies
who's
too.
Mr. Nobody? It's literally because one of them joined, disconnected, and rejoined, and I cannot delete that name. So
That
I
was
just
me.
renamed it.
That was
Yeah.
me. My bad. My bad.
Yeah. The only way to get rid of
could've
that
kept
is
that.
literally to make a whole new one.
Oof. My bad.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
grab the undies too. Use our code XboxEra for 20% off and free shipping.
I have the chat closed, but I do have the stream on the right for when he writes the name, because that helps me. If
I
don't
can't
get
see
it
the
quick
stream
enough.
because I've got tabs in Edge.
Yeah.
If I've got Buzz, the only way I can watch the stream to see the word typed is to lose the StreamYard on my second screen. I can't do it both. So I don't. That's why. Why do you think
Oh,
I
yeah, I'm
always
losing
ask Jesse
StreamYard.
to
It's
say the
okay.
words multiple times? Because I can't see them. So I need.
I'm losing the
in
stream yard.
case
I don't need
forget.
to look at you as I beat you. So
Yeah.
So the first one's balls hard.
okay.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, so spacebar for Buzz. Huh?
So
Okay,
this
yes,
is taking the name of a video game using similes or
Yes.
occasionally an antonym. I have one antonym this week. And you
Okay.
got to try and guess what game I'm referencing. This week's category are video games released in 2016.
Okay, I'm alive.
That's
I was
such
alive
a
then.
weird year to pick.
I was alive then.
I can pick years over and over again because I get lots of games.
Hey,
that
what was
come
the
out now.
antonym?
We were
Again, that's like
talking
the
about
opposite.
2014
right?
last week. You should have picked 2014. That would have been
Yeah,
so much
antonym
better.
is the opposite.
Okay, all
Let me
right,
drop
all
them
right,
for
okay.
him. Oh, I got to
Okay.
click
It's
it.
okay because John's not playing today, so no one should be cheating.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not cheating.
Now, who are we playing for? We are.
Yes.
I chose for Soul today, so I am playing for Adam Bartolo, and Soul is playing for VK Andrew. I am getting Discord.
Apologies in advance, VK Andrew. But let's do this.
Yes, VK Andrew.
I mean, I could just
okay,
put
so that-
chat into emoji only mode and screw them all over, but I like seeing how much smarter they are than you.
Yeah. Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
It's whatever.
No,
Like I
that's
said,
cool.
John's
We're
the
not
only one
cheating,
that
don't worry.
cheats, so it doesn't matter. And John's not here.
All right.
Okay.
But see how karma finds a way. John cheats, and now he's done his back. Karma
That's
hits
up.
you, mate. Sometimes
That's up.
literally hits you.
By the way, I've updated the scoreboards for today. We got Nick Mechanico going against Social Nick.
Social.
Yeah,
It's actually a cool name. Not gonna lie.
it's better than Social Ed and what that represents. So never bring that up. All right. The first one is Cloudy Anima 3. ANIMA. 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 You can look the word up if you need to, or I can just look it up for you.
2016.
Cloudy
2016?
Anima 3.
Oh, flip. Cloudy means.
And this isn't an antonym, this is synonym.
Synonym. The antonym will be the last one.
Anima.
Unless I
Define
read it.
anima.
Yeah,
No, anima. Cut.
Oh no. Inward touch of subconscious.
Cloudy anima. Don't Google the word.
and
No. He said I could. He said I could
Yeah,
look up
you can
Amina,
look up
'cause I
if you
didn't
don't know what
it
the actual word means. You're
Yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna get it. You can look up what the word means.
But there's been heaps of
Oh.
times where I didn't know the word. I didn't
my
Google
bad.
it.
My bad. I
Okay.
got it because I googled
Soulblazerz?
it. But if you Dark Souls 3.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I shouldn't have Googled. You know what, Nick? I'm not gonna Google names I don't know anymore.
See, that's why
All right.
Googling is
All right.
cheating because it's
I'm
the
not
same
gonna-
thing as
I'm not gonna.
reverse
But then we just sit here
synonymizing.
all the
should've
time, and
known, though.
everyone
Anima
gets.
and
It's
Soul, I should've known
embarrassing
that.
how few English words you guys know, despite being
Cloudy threw me off.
the places that speak the correct English.
I was thinking like weathering or
Nick, or I mean, mostly
Everyone has
John.
the cheat to beat me. Everyone has the
Hey,
cheat
he
to beat
gave me the go ahead to Google before I Googled. All right.
John talks about how, oh, we speak the proper English here, ain't don't we, bruv? You fucking
Sanctioned
cunt.
cheating
Unbuzz,
is still
right?
I
cheating.
don't.
Sanctioned
How do I-
cheating is still cheating.
I clear
There
it.
it is. Okay. All right.
All right. The next one is pretty easy. It is Unexplored 4, A Rapscallion's Demise. Soul.
That's pretty easy. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Correct.
Come on, Nick. I haven't even played the game. I know you've.
And I bought Uncharted 4.
All right. My God, 2-0 for social. I gotta actually
Okay.
give you the
All right.
points.
All
There we
right.
go.
My buzzer is.
I
Alright, perfect.
have to
wipe the
click
buzzer.
50 things.
No,
Shut the fuck
no
up.
way.
All right. I had to give you your
Okay.
points and everything. All right.
Okay.
The next one is. Okay, so the first word is a compound word. It is two
Okay,
words stuck
yep.
together for a video game that aren't normally a thing you'd stick together.
Yep.
Then there is a third word. So my first 3 words are the compound word. And then I've got. I know.
Okay.
It's
How many
annoying.
words total in the name of the game?
There are 3 words. There's 2 words
Oh,
total in the name of the game,
okay,
with the
alright,
first
okay.
word
Yes.
being a compound word.
Being a
Which
compound word.
of 3 words?
And I'm going to be
one
saying
word together?
4 words.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no easy way to get around this shit because video games have stupid names. That's the thing we've learned. Video game names are stupid and they mostly just have names in them and you can't do them anyways. I can never do them. I can't do Nintendo. They're all named after names.
Yep. You should
Oh,
describe
Zelda,
them.
Robin Williams' daughter name, Breathing Wildly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's what can you do? All right, next one is Heated Vapor Planet Theft. Heated Vapor Planet. That's the compound word. Theft.
Vapor Planet. Theft. So no
Smaller
numbers
name.
and-
Smaller game. Not a huge one, but it is a well-known
Stolen-
series of games.
Stolen Persona? No.
One of
Heated
my
Vapor-
favorite
Lost-
I
Metroidvanias.
know the first
Not
part
this
of the
game.
Lost
compound
World?
word.
Yeah.
Metroidvanias.
This series has had a Metroidvania. This game was not.
Castlevania? No.
No.
Shadow of the Night? No, 2016.
Heated
Uh,
Vapor
Say it
Planet.
again.
Heated Vapor Planet.
Heater?
Theft.
Heater Planet. Theft. Oh, I think I know this. Crap. Heated.
I know the first part of the compound word.
I don't know either, but I'm thinking heated.
And if
Vapor
I say it,
Planet.
I'll give him the clue.
Molten.
Yeah, never say it.
Molten core.
Uh,
Molten. Heated Vapor Planet. What the hell?
I know what heated vapor is.
Really?
Surely you know what heated vapor is.
Shut, Nick. You're just trying to hand it away.
What's the second one?
Why
oh
does
my
Nick
God,
hand
I
it
know
away to
it.
people like this?
You literally just gave it to me, Nick, the first half, but
Wait,
Nick and
wait,
Mechanical.
wait. Is it SteamWorld? What's it called? SteamWorld Dig?
No. Why would theft be dig?
I'm just gonna say
Why would it be Dig?
Steam World.
Steam.
Steam World Lost
Nope. It is SteamWorld Heist.
Heist. I would never get that.
Oh my
I would never
god!
get
I
that.
didn't even know that SteamWorld Heist was a game. The
Literally, I
only
would-
SteamWorld game I know is Dig.
I would never get that. I was thinking like Lost Planet.
I'm not going to always go with the most obvious one.
vapor. Heated vapor is like at first I was
Oh,
thinking
God.
gas, and I'm like, well,
Yep.
wait, that's not gas.
Yep.
It's steam. Steam is
Molten
the only
Core
Steam
came to my
game
mind.
I know is SteamWorld, but the only SteamWorld game I know is SteamWorld Dig. I didn't even know Steam. What the hell is SteamWorld
Steam World
Heist?
Heist.
It is a video game that came out in 2016. All right, the next one
I
is
just
One
know
World.
SteamWorld Dig
One
on
word.
3DS.
One word. Okay.
One
okay.
word. Internal. Internal. Nick.
Fudge.
Inside?
Correct.
Oh.
Just internal. I'm like, I don't know.
God damn it! I was thinking Returnal for some reason. I'm like, did that come out 2016?
Internal. I'm like inside. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Nick's got his point. Question is in. Buzzers are cleared.
Hmm.
The next one for either the win for Soul or the tie for Nick is Portion Snapped. Portion Snapped. It's tricky.
Portion snapped.
Portion means a part.
2016.
Portion part. Was the portion snapped?
Yeah.
Portion snapped.
The difficult part is knowing it's a word we all have heard, but no one really realizes what that word means.
So it's one word, did you say?
No,
No,
this is two
it's
words.
2 words.
But that first word,
Oh.
portion, what that translates to, the simile, you don't always think, oh, that's
yeah.
what that word means.
Oh, you know what? Snapped. Snapped is like a broken.
You say it
or-
outside, you're gonna hand
Yeah.
That's what Nick does every time. He just
Yeah,
starts
well, I
thinking
can't. I
out
can't
loud.
think in my head. I can't.
You
Think in
can
my
mute
head.
yourself.
I know what
gotta-
snapped is, but portion snapped. I know the snapped part. I don't know the portion part.
Well, that's what makes it tricky.
Yeah, broken. Is there a game that
It has
ends
to be
in
broken.
broken? I don't think
It has to
there
be
is.
broken. Something
Oh
broken.
my god.
Portion.
You
Sigma?
fucking clowns. Come on.
Sigma broken, dude. I
platform.
probably have
It's
not
a
played this game.
platform.
All right. It's a platformer.
No, it's not a
No,
platformer.
I'm saying give us a platform as a
Oh.
clue.
Xbox
that'd be
and
nice.
PC.
Oh,
Wait.
Ex-
Wait.
oh,
Jesus Christ. Nick.
but wait.
Look
How
up the
is
definition
quantum
of
a portion? Is it quantum
that is what
break?
Oh,
that is
it
what
is
yes it
quantum
is,
break.
and that's what
God.
quantum means.
Damn it, he's right.
What does
Quantum means a
quantum mean?
part.
It means portion.
It means like a part of something, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, that's
God
what
damn it.
I
people,
didn't even know that.
Oh, speaking of, apparently it's getting delisted. Woohoo.
Oh yeah, synonym, whatever.
I didn't even know that.
Fudge.
Yeah,
I should try
synonym.
that too.
I meant synonym. Synonym for
Snapped. I knew snapped is
Yeah.
like breaking or something
you said
breaking.
broke.
but
No,
How
what
did I
game
not
is
get that?
called broke? It's like, oh come on, man.
2016.
That's what I'm saying. What game is
man.
broken in it? But I'm like
God damn it.
2016, and it wasn't until you said Xbox One and PC. I'm like, okay, so an Xbox exclusive in 2016
Yeah.
broke. Oh yeah, Quantum Break. But I didn't know Quantum was portion.
Not gonna- I thought a local
idea.
cycle first. That was not the right.
That was 2013, wasn't it? Yeah, a quantum is a real itty bitty tiny
Oh, yeah,
piece.
the Quantum Realm. The Quantum
Yeah.
Realm.
Yeah, real
An
itty bitty
Ant-Man.
little tiny thingy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I can.
All
I
right.
can still win this.
Well, we are
I can still win
tied at
this.
2. I'm gonna go with the antonym.
Flip.
Oh, here we go.
This one is an antonym, not a synonym. It is an
So
antonym.
the opposite.
Yeah, I keep saying simile.
Yeah.
I want to keep wanting to say simile. This
Hmm.
is the opposite. This one is
Of what this thing
the
is.
multiplication. Soul.
The division.
Correct.
Come on. That was too easy.
That was a who's gonna click first, not a, I didn't think Nick was gonna go.
yeah.
What?
Actually, I got worried it was like one of the DLCs or the sequel or something. But 2016, no, I'm pretty sure that's the first game. Whew. All right.
All right.
It's bad for
Next,
your heart, dude.
next one for funsies, and congratulations, VK Andrew. I'll message you on the site.
Oh, hold on, shit! I closed Buzzy Live.
You fucking goddamn it!
I just instinctively closed.
So now we're gonna
Buzzy
have
Live.
4 names in that goddamn thing.
Oh, really? Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I just yelled at Soul about. Every time you disconnect, you don't reconnect.
Make sure it's not
It's the
Nick.
first time I've done it. It's the first
Mm.
time
Change your
I've done
nickname.
it. Sorry. It's the first time
Yep.
I've done it.
Now it doesn't even show. I gotta reset. You know what?
Change your
You know what?
nickname. Just
Sorry.
use a different nickname.
No, I'm
It's
that
the
game's.
first time I've done that. Literally,
game
All
created.
the times I've been playing this game.
Okay, all right. Send us.
I'm
the
sending you the
or-
link
or
for the new
code,
game.
sorry.
You fucks.
The code. The code. All right.
There, it's in chat.
A lot of 9s.
Yeah.
John Hurt is back is his excuse. Robert Vasquez. He's pretending that he's wait, I'm on my floor, bruv. Oh, why are there
you
2
reckon he's
Nicks?
pretending? You reckon he's pretending?
Why did you name
No.
yourself Nick? Why is
Wait.
it-
What?
There's 2 Nicks.
Oh my bad.
Did you call yourself Nick?
I can. You don't have to. No, you don't have to leave. I could change it. God damn it.
Why would you do that?
It was a mistake. I was.
Okay, this is your name now.
Yourself.
Enjoy your new name. I could have just changed it. You didn't have to leave.
I didn't know you could change
Why?
it.
Jesus Christ! I was
Why
trying to
would
say it, and you had
call
already
yourself
closed.
Nick?
Fuck. Next one.
What were you even thinking? What was
I was
in
thinking
your
of John, but for
brain
some
when you're
reason I
like,
wrote down
what's your
Nick."
name? My name is Nick. What were you even thinking?
I called him Social Nick, and I guess I just took to his brain.
You know what? That's actually totally true.
I don't understand. That makes no
Next
sense.
one word. Catastrophe.
2016 game catastrophe.
Disaster.
Fuckface.
Doom?
Correct.
Doom, right? Doom 2016.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
It's literally called Doom 2016.
Fuckface.
Okay.
next one. Trigger Man.
Wait 1 sec. I'm messed up.
Yeah, you don't get to. Yeah, Trigger Man.
What?
Trigger Man. One word. Trigger Man.
One word.
One word. Trigger Man. Nick.
Hitman?
Correct.
Oh, damn.
The new
I was
Hitman
thinking- I was
trilogy
thinking
started
Mega
in
Man.
2016.
Huh. Nice.
That's why they
Okay,
call it
okay.
Hitman 2016, and they called it Doom 2016. 'cause
Yeah, you're
people
right.
are not
Actually, I've never
original.
played Hitman.
You really
I thought you
should.
might have said like trigger, like instead of Hitman, I thought you would have been something like
Like Punch Man? That's too obvious.
violent male person or
Yeah,
something.
Violent-
Trigger. I could have called it
Like-
Trigger Guy or something, but whatever.
Yeah,
But,
Violent
yes.
Florida resident. No.
not much effort in that.
Double
one.
G's ER. You got to be careful with what you word things. But Soul, you should
What?
definitely play it. Those
Yeah, I
combinations
should.
of letters
I
can be
definitely
real
should.
rough in English. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I
Um,
see what you mean. Yeah,
yes.
fair enough. I should play it. It's on my list.
And I think it's on Game Pass. It's
Yep,
there.
and all three, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
you get
sure.
all the base levels of 1 and 2. You can get the cheap levels in 2 real cheaply, and they're really good. That season pass. So yeah, that game has an insane amount of really fun content. And if you realize you can just fuck around, and I mean you're a fuckface, so you can just fuck around and do whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about the stealth in your first runs. You can put it on easy. You can do the dumbest shit imaginable and just have
Oh,
a
man.
ton of
I
fun.
need to play it. I
Yeah.
need to play it. It's on
People
my
all
list,
think,
actually.
oh, I've got to have the perfect run, and I got to do a ton of stealth. No,
Yeah, that was my issue.
no,
Punch
you don't.
male human. Hitman. Punch male human. Hitman.
Yeah, you do not have
I
to
should
play
be doing
Hitman like a stealth game. You can just go crazy stupid with it. It's really
Punch
fun.
male
Alright,
human.
Okay.
The next
Punch
one
Male Human, yeah.
is
Hitman.
Behemoth Drop 2.
Clear the buzzer.
No.
Clear the buzzer.
Behemoth Drop 2. Behemoth Drop 2.
It's not Monster Hunter. Behemoth Drop. Drop means
Drop. The drop's thrown me.
Behemoth Drop 2.
Godfall 2?
Come on! Holy shit!
Dragon's Fall? It's something fall, damn it. I don't know what Behemoth is. Monster Fall?
Oh,
Stop
yeah,
saying
thanks
it
for
out
the
loud.
clue.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clue. Titanfall 2.
Titanfall! Oh,
You-
no. Honestly, Nick, that's embarrassing for you. All right.
I know.
I was
You
getting
said-
mad
you
for a
said
reason.
Fall. As soon as you said something fall, I'm like, oh yeah,
Jesus
Titanfall.
Christ.
I'll think of a Japanese game for some reason, man. I think of Behemoth, I think of Japanese titles.
That's why you gotta not say the words.
This
that
game
are in
gives
your
me a
head, 'cause
headache.
You give away the clues.
That was the
can't
easy.
think in my
That was
head.
the really easy one. That was like, oh, who's gonna click first? That's all I'm thinking. Oh, who's gonna click first? Not who's gonna look stupider.
Okay, is that the last one?
No,
I
there's
just
one,
reckon
one last one.
Okay,
Like our instinct is to overthink it.
100%.
That's the problem. I don't
100%.
like and the funny thing is I should be good at this game because of how dumb I am. So I should just be like super low level thinking and I should get these straight away and I don't. I overthink it.
Drop 2. You know the 2 threw me over.
All right, the final one. Who's gonna get it, Nick or Fuckface? It is Apparatus of Conflict 4. Nick.
Oh. Uh-oh.
No, wait.
Hey,
I
Nick.
screwed up.
Wait,
It's Nick
was,
first.
Was Gears of War 4 2016?
Yes,
No,
it was
no,
Gears
no,
of
it
War
wasn't.
4.
No, it was. Damn it.
Oh, thank God for that. I had a panic attack for a second there. I was about to be like, wait. I had 2019 in my head, but that was Gears 5.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, that was pretty cool. That was
Okay.
pretty cool.
I've got,
Jason
I have
would
a
be happy with me getting.
migraine
If Jason's
developing.
watching, he'd be happy with me getting that one because that was Gears of War. That's like his favorite franchise.
I wish I can't
He would have
fade this
been
music out. Sorry that it's just.
screaming,
gonna-
"That's Gears of War, you stupid bastard!"
I can't fade the music out anymore. My apologies. It just. it
Dude,
just
I was in a
has.
car that faded the music out when you opened the door. It took me by surprise. I really liked it. Yeah, neat features, man.
I guess thank you guys for being so you to make that funny for people with me losing my goddamn mind.
Man.
Right.
Why
Wow. So look at that. We've snuck in. We've snuck
I
in
can open
at
the chat
under
again.
2 hours. We've snuck in at under 2 hours. How good's that?
It's not over,
So-
though.
Oh no.
We have
You
like
dumb
two
shit.
questions. They're very small questions. I
So
think.
got community questions. Okay, so as you all know, despite our affiliate deals with Control and Manscaped, we are very much predominantly
Almost full.
powered by our patrons, by you, our patrons. You're the ones that make everything possible. And we are endeavoring to provide more for our patrons. As Jesse mentioned earlier, yesterday was the first episode of our movie podcast called Sick and Nick's Flicks. Nick Flicks, woo! So we covered John Wick 4 and Gross Point Blank. So that episode is live for patrons. How do they access it, by the way? I don't
We
even know.
put a link on the Patreon. There's a link for YouTube members in our community post. And there's also a link on the XboxEra community Discord.
Yes, yeah. For anyone watching,
Because I'm a patron, so I'm like, how do I access it?
John was supposed to have made a post for everyone $6 and over.
Was
So
it?
if you're not $6 and over, you don't get to see it.
Oh, okay.
So $6
and
over
is.
patrons, you get your link on the XboxEra Discord, which is discord.gg/XboxEra.
There's an echo apparently right now.
Oh, there is. God damn, I'm muted. I'm echoing. Ah, there, fixed. It's because I had my mic on from the other thing.
It's nice for having a reactive chat. It's nice.
Yeah. The next thing is discord.gg /XboxEra. No, that was just me forgetting to
right back
for
for a second. Just got a while.
So oh my god, Soul. So the first episode of Sick and Nix Flicks was, like I said, John Wick 4 and Gross Point Blank. Second episode is going to be the Super Mario Brothers movie.
In theaters, not the old one.
Yes, the new one that's coming out in theaters. And Very Bad Things, the 1998 dark comedy with Jon Favreau, Cameron Diaz, Christian Slater, Jeremy Piven. I can't remember who else. That's going to be the next episode.
Why Very Bad Things, by the way? Why was that like the...
Because I happened to mention it once and John said he hasn't seen it. So I was like, dude, you have to see this movie because it's totally messed up.
Should be in 2 weeks. We'll give a full week after the Mario Brothers movie comes out, and it'll most likely be a week after that. So the 14th, I think that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're taking feedback on how to best structure that show because it was the first one, and I don't know, there was not much structure to it. I did add timestamps to it. Not that there's many, thank Christ, for that show.
You know, Nick, our Patreons at the bottom, are they the 12 and above people? $12 and above? Or are they $6? Because I'm going to probably need a lot more $6 people. The names I scroll at the bottom.
The names you scroll at the bottom are the 12 and the 30s.
Yeah, so that's why I'm more. We scroll the 12 and 30 get the shout out. My apologies.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Oh, you know what? You know what, Nick?
We
obviously add the 6 because I do the $5 YouTube members. So.
Okay. Add the 6. Okay.
I will. I don't know them. You'll have to tell me it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, March 12th. Mort, I'm adding you.
Yeah, there's a few 6s. There's a few 6s now that the 6
have
has been
some
added.
new 12s you'll have to check out as well.
You even check which one you are.
I thought I had checked them all. Soul is a 6.
I'm a 6, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Just make it hard to check, though. It's kind of annoying.
I will hit up John later.
There it is.
To get everyone.
There's quite a few 6s.
Mm-hmm.
A few went up to 6 as well, which is good. Thanks for everyone. So yeah, we want to say thank you.
They get their name real big.
So yeah, we want to say thank you to all our patrons. So we are trying to provide more content. I'm still looking into the Nintendo podcast. We've got the
Speaking of,
podcast.
We didn't talk about the Zelda gameplay, though. I mean, it's not a Nintendo podcast, so
yeah, I know that's okay. That's fine. I'm happy. I'll make that sacrifice for our Xbox audience to not gush about Zelda and the console that I ordered and the Pro controller that I ordered. I'll be selling an Animal Crossing limited edition Switch very, very soon. But one of the other perks of being a patron, as well as helping us keep doing what we're doing, is that you get to ask questions for the show on a private section of the forum. So this week, that functionality broke. So there's not a lot of community questions because no one could actually see the thread. So, first question of our community questions comes from DeoGame. Hi all, did any April Fool's jokes get ya? For me, the only one would be the ROG ally. I still don't know if that's real or not. That's the only one.
All 3 that I saw got me for like 20-30 seconds each. One was the Ishimura. So Battlefield releases a tweet, but the Ishimura is playable in the game from Dead Space. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Really? And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then did you not see the hyper What's the company's name?
I don't know.
Hypercharge Unboxed had one where they were
Hypercharge
pretending
Unboxed,
they were
yeah.
canceling the game. I hate those
Oh,
ones,
They-
man.
I read like the first 3 paragraphs. I'm like,
Really? Did
what?
they do that? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And then I didn't even realize it was April Fool's. So Jesse's like, I wonder how many people read the whole thing. I'm like, what? And I went back up and I read the whole thing. I'm like, oh, these guys.
I was tempted to do one myself. I was going to put on Twitter that Microsoft was looking at buying Sony as
Oh
part of all
my
this
God.
ABK stuff, just to sort of get over it. Like I was just going to be like, oh, I've heard a rumor.
You know
that
what though?
Microsoft's
You should
looking to buy
use April
Sony.
Fool's as the day to say a rumor that you're not like even more than 50%
Yeah, I
sure.
know. One that's like crazy, that's real, but
yeah.
like no one would ever believe. I should start doing that. But yeah, no, just the ROG ally for me.
Oh man.
Because Sonic was real. The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Those are the good ones when they're actually reeling you get something instead of, oh, by the way, we're
They are.
canceled. And no, just kidding.
No, no. Okay, Hytham G. Have you gents ever did an April Fool's prank before, like a bag of dog turd in front of someone's door and lit it on fire until they had to put it out with their shoe until they see turds all over it?
Oddly
So
specific.
what kind of? If you've ever watched Billy Madison, oh god, that
Fair
makes
enough.
sense. But what kind of pranks have you gents did before on April Fool's Day? P.S. My Ramadan is going pretty good. Still tired and hungry as usual, but I'm doing fine until less than 30 days of that holiday. I personally have never done an April Fool's prank, but I do like the flaming poop bag, which I remember seeing as a kid watching Billy Madison. You call this shit poop.
I don't
Billy
think I've
Madison's a classic.
done one as an adult. I remember back in elementary school, my teacher like sent this one kid on like this 2-hour errand of finding hangers or something, and he just kept going back, coming back.
Oh my
Well, not 2
God.
hours, that's an exaggeration, but like 30 minutes at least across the entire school to get like the specific item that didn't exist. Also, yeah, Ramadan Mubarak, Hytham, and yeah, it is time to drink. Well,
You know,
water.
it's funny. This isn't an April Fool's thing, but it's kind of on a prank. So when I was 16, I got a job as a kitchen hand at a pizza restaurant. And anyone who's had a job as a young kid, you know that when you first start in this job, you're ridiculously nervous. Your brain is all over the place. You're just so, I've got to listen. I've got to do what they say. I've got to get ready to say. The person I worked for at the time at this little pizza shop was a bit of a smartass. It's funny story about this guy. His right hand, he only had a thumb. So he used to make, it was very
What?
easy for him to knead dough. He had this special leather glove made that hid the fact that he had no fingers. He only
How
had
did he
a
lose
thumb.
his fingers?
He lost his fingers in some kind of accident. So he only had a
What
thumb.
the hell?
And first day on the job, I've just started this job. I'm 16 years old. I'm just a kid. And he goes, Nick, go next door to the Chinese restaurant next door, and I need to borrow their left-handed strainer. Right. So I've just like rushed over there because the first day of the job, I'm going to listen to everything the boss says. So I rushed over there and I said, listen, my boss has asked me to come over here. I need to borrow your left-handed strainer. They're looking at me like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, but he's asking me. He said he wants to borrow your left-handed strainer. So I'm just like, run back. I said, they looked at me funny. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And he was hissing himself laughing that I went over there to ask for this left-handed strainer.
Have you watched
Anyway.
Red versus Blue at all?
Yes.
The early
old days.
seasons where it's like go get the elbow fluid at the store.
So yes, not an April
Elbow
Fool's
grease.
joke, but a prank nonetheless that I thought I would mention. Okay. Brand new patron, BatOutaHades. Jesse, thank you very much for joining the Patreon. I think he's a $6 patron too. So he was watching the movie podcast. Jesse, John, and Nick. John is not here
Headlight
because
fluid.
John's
Yeah, nice.
a big faker. I've really enjoyed watching the XboxEra crew level up its review game in recent history. Kudos to Jesse and all the reviewers. Hey, I do reviews too. While I'm sure you stand by your reviews, regardless of how your scores compare against the broader critical community, I imagine moments of reflection could arise where your score lands apart from a consensus view. Have you ever reviewed a game which, after having additional playtime following your review, you might have scored closer to a consensus view? Alternatively, have any of your reviews convinced you that the rest of the review community is mad and you are the sole sane inhabitant thereof? wonder if I should say what I want to say here.
Go ahead. Don't be a bitch like John.
There is a review. There was a review I did where I scored it a little bit lower than I wanted to because I was worried about how a high score would look because we had a relationship with the developer.
Interesting.
So I ended up scoring the review lower than I wanted to.
You're the Falconeer. Tell
Was
me.
that Songs of Iron?
And then, well, there's quite a few devs that I'm friends with that
Yeah,
are
I
fair
did
enough.
Songs of Iron. I gave it a bad review. I gave it a 6.
Yeah, you did Songs of Iron. So I thought, yeah, okay.
And
all right.
and it was the score was lower than I wanted. And then when the other reviews came out, all their review scores were higher than mine, and I felt really bad. I'm not going to say the one, but there's quite a few options. So feel free to guess, but there's a few options. But so instead of like most people go, oh, just because you're friends with the dev, you gave it a 10. I went the other way and went lower than I wanted to.
Should never do that.
I know, and I wouldn't do that again.
Wait, you went lower than you wanted to?
I went lower
Disgusting.
Why lower?
than I wanted
Stick
to.
with me.
To make
because
you
I
seem like
didn't-
unbiased, kind of?
Yes.
Huh.
To make it seem like I wasn't biased. So I still gave it a good score. Don't get me wrong. The game still got a good score, but it was a bit lower than, only a little bit lower than I wanted to actually.
Oh,
give
it's
it.
friggin' Ori. Ori 2. You
Makes
give it
me
a good score,
question.
though.
Makes me question if I'm going to keep letting you do them. But I would say as
One time. I did it one time. It was
As I'm
literally just the
approaching,
one time.
I'm approaching 200 reviews done.
God damn.
I would say there are some I might go back to and lower, especially early on. I was a little high. I think the Avengers, I gave 8.8 because I really loved the campaign. But
What about
looking at
that,
the whole package, I'd probably go 8. Lower 8s.
What about that
because I really-
9.7, Jesse, that haunts you? Or doesn't haunt you, that people
Oh,
try and make haunt you?
The Steam
Ascent.
version of the Ascent, I'd keep that score. That game looks and runs beautifully on there.
Sounds
It
beautiful,
is
too.
still fucked up all the time on Xbox and Windows Store. That's why I did lower it almost immediately. Was like, oh shit, I
Oh, yeah?
reviewed this mostly on Steam, and it worked great there. And then I got the Xbox code, and I was like, oh, what the hell? This is an Xbox.
I played
Game
it on
Pass
Xbox.
marketed
It was
game.
fine. I played it on
Oh,
Xbox.
I
It was
ran
fine
into
for me.
so many bugs.
It
in
was
co-op with
pretty
my
buggy,
brother.
especially in co-op. Co-op
Yeah.
was bad.
Real bad. in
I
co-op
played
on
it
there.
single player. I haven't beat
Yeah,
it, but
so
I played it single
Trying to
player.
play
and it was
co-op
fine
on
for
Xbox,
me.
we had so many problems.
Oh, okay. I did.
But something
know-
like Scorn
Yes,
that
that's
I
what I
gave
was
a
thinking.
4, I would put it lower. I would probably put that at a 3. That game sucks.
And that game has a 70% on Metacritic. Can you believe that? One of the worst 2 hours of my life.
3 is a broken game.
Yes, because it doesn't tell you where to go or what to do. So I had long periods of time where I had no idea what to go.
I'd gotta give
what
it
to
a
do.
5.
That's not a
at
broken
most.
game. That's just an
No,
old
but it makes
school
me
game.
pissed as a broken game.
Yeah. That game
If
sucks.
we're doing 5 is mediocre, 5 is mediocre, 4 is bad, 3 is
Not having your
terrible.
handheld should not be a reason to give a game a 3.
No,
For
but it's just
us,
boring, though. You know? Like, you're just
It's
walking
also-
down the thing.
We're trying to do the full 10 points. So 5 is when a game's fine. This game's okay. It's all right. 4, oh, that's
It's
not very good.
mediocre. It's average.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. That's what we call it. 4, bad. 3, terrible. I think it was a terrible
So
game. 2
scored
is broken.
4.
1, yeah.
I'd give it like 5 at most. That was not a good game. I don't know how the industry gave that a 70% Rotten Tomatoes. Do they not play games? Do they only look at them? Like, sorry, on Metacritic.
Horror games are on a completely different
Yeah.
scale. I played
Yeah.
Madison, and even playing the right version that worked, unlike the one they gave me that was completely broken, and I went from like a 4 to a 5. That game was still really bad. It wasn't good looking. It was boring. The voice acting was terrible. The story sucked. and
But
it
that's the
still had,
one with
a
like
fucking
the
75 or something.
the controversy with like some
It's not
face
like-
cutting. Or no, that was a different game.
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's
okay,
there's
alright.
not any animation in that game, really.
Okay. Okay.
The only time you see something animate, it just moves like this, like there's no skill behind it.
Interesting.
But yes, no, I would say on the whole, I don't. If I think a lot of our reviewers are off from what the Metacritic or the Open Critic is, we stand by it. I stand by my Gotham Knights. That's a fun ass
But
game.
we wouldn't know until the review comes out anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
We wouldn't even
And he's
know
like-
if we were in line.
Yeah, I think he was like, well, do you look back and say, oh, did I just get this wrong? It's like, you might, but normally I just think, what the hell are these people smoking?
Yeah, no. Personally, I've only reviewed 4 games. All of them lined up pretty close, kind of close to the Metacritic score, and No, they're
Yeah, so have
Hades
mine
is
on the
a
whole.
phenomenal game, and I
Actually,
stand by all of them.
I think all my reviews have pretty much been dead on, almost perfectly in sync with the Metacritic. I think the only exception was Ori, and Ori I gave a 9.5, and Ori's Metacritic's like 90.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was I think all the others are like dead on.
That's
with
the one, right, Nick?
Metacritic.
That's the one you gave a slightly lower score.
I'm
It
not
has to
saying
be.
which one it is.
It has to be. It's
I'm not
definitely
saying
Ori.
which one it is. I'm not saying which one it is. Like I said, if you look at all my reviews, I've done a few. Remember, I've been reviewing since day one.
Yeah. You
Don't
had like
forget.
what, like 6 reviews or so, I think, right? Ninja Turtles,
More
Streets of
than that.
Rage,
More than
Ori. More than that. Oh, damn. Okay.
I had a game called Lunchapalooza.
Oh,
I
back
reviewed
in
a game called
okay.
The Last Scape. That's right. Like I said, I know you guys will all make assumptions about which game this is, but don't worry. I develop relationships with a few indie devs. Don't worry about that. Some behind the scenes too.
All right.
But
It's
yes, I
real
only did
corrupt.
that once, and I wish I hadn't. But the score I still gave this game was a pretty good score anyway. But I would not do that again, because in the end, if people want to say, "Oh, you only gave it this score because you were friends," well, so be it.
I mean, people will say
I'd like to think I'm
right.
generally a fairly objective and upfront person.
Okay,
Okay,
that makes sense.
last question.
I think that was
Interesting. The timing of this question is very interesting because my brother brought this up with me the other night on Friday night at the football. Good old Collingwood after the football game. So the fact that it's asked by good old Collingwood.
Oh yeah,
2 days after Collingwood played, and my brother brought this up at the footy. Very interesting. Is good old Collingwood secretly my brother? Happy April, Nick and Jesse. I think this news was missed out from last week's podcast. It was. What do you think of the announcement of a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game? This one will not be like the arcade beat-em-ups of old, but based on a gritty and dark graphic novel, The Last Ronin. It will be an RPG and will take a God of War approach to gameplay. Good old Collingwood. Oh, and what about Vampire Survivors beating out Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok for the BAFTA Game of the Year? Oh, yeah, we forgot about
It was in the
and it was
show
in
notes too.
It was in the show notes, and we still forgot about it.
And there was like DLC or something.
DLC,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the DLC, and it won the Game of the Year at the BAFTAs, which is very, very funny. Yes, so it's funny because my brother's like, "Oh, did you hear about the Ninja Turtles game based on The Last Ronin?" I had never heard of The Last Ronin. So apparently, The Last Ronin is all the Ninja Turtles are dead.
Wait, don't give up
No,
who the turtle is. That is technically revealed at the end of the first issue, so it's like kind of a spoiler in a way of who the survivor.
Well, I asked my
Ninja
brother,
is.
like I guessed, I was like, "Oh, is it this turtle?" He's like, "No, it's actually this turtle." But all the Ninja Turtles are dead except one. And this Ninja Turtle apparently is using all their weapons, I think.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
like that is an awesome concept.
I think it was made
For a
by the
video game.
original creators of the series too, which is one of the reasons why people really liked it. They came back
Really?
like a decade later, multiple decades later.
I'm interested to hear, like, I don't want to read the comic because I don't read comics anymore, but I'd be very interested to hear how did the other 3 turtles die?
So the comic goes in flashbacks to each one's death. Which I wonder how would they do that in the game? Do you play as each turtle? I guess
That'd be cool. Well,
that'd
hold
be
on.
interesting.
Halo ODST, that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're playing
you're right.
flashbacks.
It's gonna suck then if it's like ODST.
No, that would be interesting.
Higher, man. ODST is the second best Halo game.
Ugh.
It is the second best Halo game behind CE.
I mean, in reverse order, I fully agree. But
CE is the best Halo game, and ODST is the second best Halo game, and Infinite is the third best Halo game.
I can agree with Infinite being the third or second best, yeah. ODST, no.
Halo
When
2,
it comes to actually playing them, no one wants to play the old ones. I tried going
Halo
back to it.
2 is the worst Halo game. Halo 2 sucks.
The worst?
So
You put it below Halo 5?
Yes.
Hmm.
Age will do decent things to Halo 5, I think. I think Age will be kinder to Halo 5. But we're now getting off on you had me at Halo. You know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should take a cue from Miles and we'll do a You Had Me at Halo tier throwdown episode.
We actually had one.
Listicles are banned.
We had a tier episode.
Did we?
But it was
when?
No, on You Had Me at Halo, we had a tier because we were kind of bored. There wasn't any news. We had a tier episode.
Was it before Halo? Was it before Infinite?
No, it was only like a month or two ago. It was just me, Austin, and Abe. And man, there's some disagreements happening in there. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
But
I would have liked to have been part of that.
no, we were only tiering Infinite compared to like its gameplay, its campaign, its multiplayer, blah blah blah, compared to other games. So we haven't done like a full on like tier list of the series. That'd be interesting. But no way in hell.
I find it
ODST
baffling
getting
that
top
there are
3.
people that don't like ODST.
Okay, so it's not that I don't like ODST. It's that if you replay the entire series, ODST is a 3-hour blip you forget about entering that moment. And I replayed often.
Maybe, but
so it's
I just loved it because it was so short and so
Yeah.
different, and I love that. Just
the
the
atmosphere
whole
and
premise
the rain
behind it,
and-
the atmosphere. Like you're finding out what happened to your squad, so you find this broken helmet, and then bang, you're flashed into the memory of what
Yep.
happened. My God, that was
So
amazing.
it had a lot going for it, but like the first time I played it, I took my time. I got all the terminals. I got the real story, and it was really enjoyable. But when you go back to it again, it doesn't hold up, man.
Fantastic.
Not compared to the rest.
ODST. I beat it on Master Chief Collection on Legendary as well in the Master Chief Collection. ODST
That's when I first played it.
Amazing. Oh, ODST.
Also,
is
Jesse's 100% right. It has some god awful voice acting.
I don't care about that. That stuff doesn't bother
But
me.
you skip the
enough to
cutscenes anyway.
not
Yeah,
like
I
a game.
get it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Most video games have terrible voice acting. So what? Who cares? I don't care
No,
enough.
they don't anymore. That's why it's really noticeable when they do.
Mhm. Actually, yeah, Jesse's
So
right,
yes,
yeah.
so if there's a Ninja Turtles game that's like a narrative driven action game, because it's Ninja Turtles, so that needs to have some very good action. But if they can structure it in a similar fashion to ODST, where
Yeah.
you're trying to find out what happened to the turtles, and you find a clue, and then that clue flashes you back to that moment, and you play out that moment. Oh,
That'd be cool.
be amazing in a Ninja
God of War
Turtles.
combat has me, but I could see it. Maybe they mean like different weapons and like
I
a third
feel
person.
like, remember, the Ninja Turtles are martial artists. It
Yeah.
needs to be better combat than God of War.
Yeah.
It needs
exactly.
to be more dynamic. To me, it needs to be more like Arkham's combat than
Mm.
God of War's combat.
It won't be though. Not with them specifically mentioning God of War. It's gonna be, if anything, it's gonna be more like Sifu. Then
I'd be
than that.
okay with Sifu. I'd be okay
Yeah.
with Sifu as well. But it
Yeah.
can't be exactly like God of War's combat. That
Yep,
doesn't
that's
work.
way too slow.
In
Way too slow.
martial arts. It doesn't work in martial arts. Sifu's combat, yes. If they can just refine Sifu's combat a little bit, and if you watch my review, I say the only real complaint I have with Sifu's combat is that the parrying is probably not forgiving enough.
Mm.
And it
And,
breaks the flow too much.
No, Scourge. I got the achievement for beating it in 3 hours without realizing, but I was playing with 4 people on Legendary. It just flew through. It's just it's a very short game. It's like 6 levels. It's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So if that'd be nice. If this Ninja Turtles game can be a blending of God of War, Sifu, and ODST, it'd be an amazing game.
Yeah,
Be an
potential's there.
amazing game.
That's really interesting.
Oh yeah,
And it's
serious
a good story
potential.
from what I never finished it, but it's I've heard it's a really good story, start to end.
That'd be cool. But yes,
Multiplayer review.
anyone
That's
who
amazing.
doesn't like ODST has no idea.
Well, it's not about not liking, it's that the rest are better. Every Halo game's good. There hasn't been a single bad Halo game. You know what I mean? They're all enjoyable. They're all a good
Halo
times.
2 is bad.
It's
On
still pretty
Legendary.
fun though. On Legendary,
Halo
it's
2,
awful.
especially on Legendary.
That's torture.
Jesus
literally.
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Halo 2 on Legendary. How the hell I beat that back then and how the hell I beat it again now, I'll never know. Like,
You beat it back then alone?
yeah, I beat it back
That's
in
crazy.
04
That's
on
insane.
Legendary. I still don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. Halo 5, again, I'm seeing everyone in the chat, Halo 5 is bad. Halo 5 has 2 problems which drag it down below where I think it could have been. The Prometheans and the Warden fights. You take those 2 things out, and Halo 5
Wait, the
would actually be a
Prometheans. Halo 5 had good Prometheans, man. Halo 4 had bad
It did
Prometheans.
not. There's no such thing as good Prometheans.
No, it did.
There is no
dude.
such thing as good Prometheans.
Halo 5's primary flaw was it was built for 4 players. That was the number one issue with the game is solo
No,
play
I don't think that
is-
was an issue.
falls apart. Because if you play the
I don't
game with
think
like
that
3
was
other
an issue.
people, it elevates the whole thing in a really good way, I want to say.
Take out the Warden fights. Take
Warden,
out the
I'd agree with, yeah.
Prometheans, and it's a very good Halo game, Halo 5. And visually underrated.
Yes. of course.
Visually underrated. On Series X, looks very pretty. on Series X.
Yeah, and it is still a really fun game. Multiplayer is still top tier. I mean, it's
But Halo 2 has aged horribly. None of those levels are memorable. Nothing. It's just that. My God, how I liked that game. But then I was 24. It was back in 04. Like, what else did we have back then? We had nothing.
And if you're a streamer, every Halo game is bad except for Infinite for the simple reason that every one of them, the music gets you DMCA'd now.
That sucks,
Drives me
man.
crazy. I
That
can't.
sucks.
So when Marty
Why?
sued Xbox, he sued Xbox
Yeah.
so that he could get those rights on the music back. And so now him and Michael Salvatore will ping you every time you use any of their music from Halo.
But the Infinite music is from CE.
So Infinite,
It's
it's
rearrangements.
redone. So
Yeah.
it's not their specific.
It sounds exactly the same.
Doesn't matter. It's there. It's who is doing this song. Like, what is this song from? So in Halo 5, the guy who did that one, he pings you on everything. He also worked on 4 with Neil Davidge. They ping you on everything. So any game, Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, ODST, and 5, and 4, all ping you a DMCA now. It absolutely sucks.
Wow.
That's why our
That
site will only
sucks.
ever use Halo Infinite music. Thankfully, there's like 70 tracks, so it's okay.
Nick, so when you beat Halo 2 when you were 24, because when I beat Halo 2 and got that cliffhanger ending, I was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, I don't know what the hell I was, but I loved it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I can't wait for Halo 3, blah, blah, blah. Was it not like that for you
the
guys?
ending itself was pretty good. But
Yeah, like
for me,
on that ship, right, finishing the
campaign,
fight.
I don't think I remember a single I was playing through Halo 2 again in Master Chief Collection last year on Legendary, and I'm playing through it. And I'm like,
Why
I don't remember
Legendary?
because I wanted to get the achievements.
Oh man.
So I'm watching it, and I'm like, I don't remember any of these levels. I don't remember any of them.
Really?
Not one.
Not
I
the
was like-
Scarab. The first time you see the Scarab, you're rushing for that tank, and you can never get it.
Didn't remember any of it. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I remembered one thing when I got there, and that was that stupid fucking level with those dumb, stupid pillars where you got to break them with the sword and knock the whole thing down.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
flying. Oh my God, that stupid level. That was like the only one I remembered. Where Halo CE, like almost every level is memorable, even in a bad way, including the library.
Okay, I like the library. I didn't understand people hated it till I got older.
Oh my
It was
God, the
freaky,
library is
and it was
terrible.
fun.
The library is one of the worst Halo levels across.
Looking
all
back
of
on
the
it, it was just
games.
copy paste like
It
10
is
times.
the worst. But yeah, I remember almost nothing from
man.
Halo 2. It was that forgettable for me.
Damn,
I
it
remember
has some of the
almost
best
nothing.
lines in the whole game.
I remember more Halo 5 levels than I do Halo 2.
Damn,
Like,
Yeah.
oh God.
that is not a
Halo
popular
2.
opinion. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I'm aware, but that's because I don't. I'm not
You
that
have to admit,
invested.
the cutscenes though, the remade ones are amazing. You got to admit that Blur did a fantastic.
Oh yeah, those cutscenes are
Yeah.
incredible, but of
Yeah.
course they're CG cutscenes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But man, like Halo 2, it has to be a nostalgia thing because I would have been one of the older Halo 2 players back in 2004 as a 24-year-old. So I
You
have
know
to
what?
assume it's nostalgia driven.
Because a lot of people like on the internet are on my age now, late 20s, early
That's
30s,
right.
and they
So
played it.
think
as
about
a
how old you
experience.
were when you played
Yeah.
Halo 2.
Yeah.
You were a kid.
That's what I think with
Maybe a
Reach too.
teenager.
Personally.
I was 24. There's no nostalgia tie to Halo 2 for me. Like I was 24 years old. I was only 5 years away from bloody being married with kids. I don't have that nostalgia tie to Halo 2. So to me, back then, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was because it was Halo 2. It was so hyped. I got caught up in the hype. And we had nothing better back then. There was no COD 4 in 2004. There
Yeah,
wasn't
Brute
even
Force.
COD 2. We weren't even playing COD 2 on 360 yet.
COD 1 2004, right? I think the very first COD released
So-
that year.
Halo 2 was
Yeah.
it. If you wanted a first-person shooter on console back then, Halo 2 was it. We didn't know any better. But, God, that game didn't age well. Now that... Like, no way.
I definitely disagree,
way.
but that was you had me in Halo, guys. If you want more of that, come join us next
that
Thursday.
that was a little more cross-promotion for You Had Me at Halo. So, that was it. I mean, those extra little tangents at the end there got us over the 2-hour mark, but that was still one of
Yep.
our shorter shows. So
220.
Nice.
It's not that short.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty long.
compared to normal though. So, Sol, is there anything you're doing for the site or anything?
Me and Proven,
You wanna
or
talk
Proven
about?
really wrote a little piece on Forza Horizon, how Forza 5, how it's kind of like a pillar for Game Pass, which I fully agree
Yep.
with. You can check it out on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Other than that, not much. I'm waiting on people to finish the reviews so I can make some videos and contribute again.
Okay. Jesse?
We got a lot in the work. A
Nice.
lot in the works. I'm working on Sherlock Holmes. I believe we have we should have a Road 96 year zero. Jesus Christ, I don't remember what the hell that freaking game's even called. The prequel to Road 96.
Mm.
Harmonica's working on. Kraken's freaking Genghis is working on Meg's
He's got 3
Monster.
names, man.
Yeah, I know. Fairy Empire's catching up on some things like Monster Energy Supercross
Ooh.
3 and a few others. So it's
cool.
mostly smaller stuff to start, and then we've got bigger things hitting. I'm doing the Sherlock Holmes one, which is second week of the month for release. There's Dead Island 2, which I want to do.
Oh yeah,
There
damn.
is Star Wars Jedi
Legends.
Survivor, which I want to do. There's
Oh,
Minecraft Legends, which I
Jedi
probably end up
Survivor. If
doing.
you've got too much on your plate, I'll have a crack at
And
Jedi
isn't
Survivor.
Redfall early May?
And then Redfall's like
So we're
May
getting a
2nd.
code for that. If we get it, it'd
We're
be
gonna.
late April.
I'm trying to get as many codes as I can because it's a 4-player
Mm.
co-op game. So I want to actually be able to do 4-player co-op.
I'll do Jedi Survivor if you need help.
We'll see.
If you
I
need
know
help,
one
I'll
thing-
do Jedi Survivor. That was Jedi. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say really quick, Mort mentioned it. We did just a couple nights ago had like an impromptu Halo community night. We had roughly 6 or 7 people. It was on the Discord. If anyone watching hasn't joined, go ahead and join. You'll see it. I think I'll just do more every once in a while. Maybe give you guys a bit more of a notice. It was a lot of fun. We had some good time. And yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to getting Street Fighter 6. Oh
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
I know
We're
that's
on
still
the
a couple.
auto list for Capcom. So
Nice.
I know
Give it
that's still a
everything.
couple of months away, but I'm getting primed for
It's
that.
early
review.
June or late June.
yeah, it's
Boy,
exactly
Street
2 months
Fighter
about
6.
away.
I'll consider
June
that one a
1st?
birthday present. 'cause
It's
my
just
birthday's
it's
in
early June. Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow,
that and
okay.
Diablo.
Yep. So with that, we want to thank everyone for joining us. Never too late to hit that like button. Hit it now if you like. If you like the show, especially without John, it was so much better. Thanks, Sol, for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for the invite. Always appreciate
Yes, you were top 3 of the people I messaged.
it. Really?
Okay.
That's way higher than I expected. Damn. Okay.
Maybe
nice.
not, but we'll see.
Okay.
Don't forget to get some control. Also, don't forget to use our code on Manscaped.
Oh,
And I
man.
won't show my underwear again, but also buy the undies. The undies are
And
quite
Patreon,
comfy
it's
and
our
nice.
big thing is pushing the Patreon. That's our
Yep.
kick to try to
Yeah,
become a
you weren't
legit
even letting me
website.
finish. I was still doing those 2, and then I was going to say,
Yeah, but you were
also
just throwing it on. It's so boring.
Also join the Patreon. That way you can get access
See?
to the movie podcast, Sick and Nick's Flicks as well. What were you going to say, Sol?
Just also join the community Discord. I know you mentioned it a few times, so we had some good discussion
Yes.
today. I want to say some random crap. It's fun. It's a good time to just know people, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll see you all next week. It'll be Easter Sunday for me, and I'll still be here even on Easter
You're
Sunday.
a heathen. You don't give a shit.
I am not religious. So yeah, so I don't care.
Do you guys have the
So
Friday and
we'll-
Monday off or no?
Yeah, we got next
Nice.
Friday off and next
Nice.
Monday off. So
America
I guess
doesn't
any other
like that. I'm
podcasts,
not sure.
any other podcasts that have those weird American times, if you want me on, let me know. So yes, so we'll see you all next week, and we'll be watching Mario next week too. So that'll be good.
Yeah. Also,
So,
if
yeah.
you guys haven't seen it, Dungeons and Dragons, great movie. You should watch it.
Really
Really enjoyable. If you enjoyed Game Night, you'll like this. Same people, and you can feel it.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll see you all next week. Take care, everyone. Ciao for now.
See you guys.
Podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.